Right, welcome back to the party, everybody. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you. And let's party. Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch us, even though you missed the live party, guys. That is the best part. So make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. I've been going live 6 days a week as much as I can. So hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. If you'd like to support the channel, head on over to theindianjesus.com for your very own official Indian Jesus merch. We do also have a Discord server, guys. It is absolutely free to join. If you're not super familiar with Discord, trust me, this is what you want to get in. This is where 24/7 we are hanging out, like-minded people, having good conversations, and doing more than just sitting around and complaining. It is absolutely free to join, but if you join this channel as a member, just scroll right below the video here and hit that join button. Starts at just $2.99 a month, and you not only get members-only live streams and other perks here on YouTube, but you also get the access to the after party and the rest of the Discord server. So as soon as we are done here, we go over to Discord, the voice channel, where you're not stuck behind your keyboard, and we don't have to worry about any YouTube censors or anything like that. You are on screen with me and everybody else. It is a grand old time. I definitely think you should come and join us. All right. So it has been quite a week in politics. Quite a week in politics. Obviously, we had the pew-pewing on Sunday. Then we had Biden getting the coup, and supposedly, and then dropping out, not endorsing Kamala. Then subsequently endorsing her. And then there's people looking at the note and realizing not only have we not heard from Biden, we haven't seen Biden. Who actually dropped out of the race? Because if you look at the signature on the statement that was posted to Twitter, it is not Joe Biden's signature. But all of that is developing, and I'm not a news channel, so I don't have anything brand new to bring you. But I do have this conversation that I've been keeping in my back pocket that I definitely wanted to share with you guys. And I think it's a really interesting perspective on somebody who maybe isn't as in the weeds of politics and is a little bit more of a normie. Comic Ari Shaffir was on with Tucker Carlson a couple weeks ago, and it was a really, really interesting conversation. Shout out to Indie Film. Welcome to the party, brother. Good to see you. As always, guys, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
Somebody told me yesterday that you lead the field among stand-ups for death threats.
Yeah, I was the first one to get them.
Why?
I had this when I was, I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I mean, I don't know exactly. So I had this when I was starting in National Lampoon's was doing this like fake reality show pitches. It was like the idea was they went up, it was all faked, but they all found a box of pitches for a reality show up in like the offices of NBC or something, but the craziest pitches possible. One was like, I can throw up on command. Another was like,
I watched that.
Yeah. There was this guy who drank ipecac and just like barfed everywhere.
Oh, you guys remember the Family Guy scene of that? Oh. Shout out to the Camcast. Welcome to the party. Yes, Ari is one of the Rogan Sphere comics, so he's been on JRE many times, and he's also, they get into it, but he is a very edgy comedian in the sense that he got in really hot water when Kobe died. He put a joke, tweeted out a joke, and all of LA hated him. We will definitely get to that before the end, but shout out to JRE and shout out to the Camcast. Welcome. We also got Damaris in the building. Welcome to the party. So if you guys are not familiar at all with Ari Shafir, he is a comic who, again, is in the Rogan Sphere, but he's got, he's always getting himself in trouble. There was a time when he dosed Bert Kreischer and just gave him, I think it was acid or ecstasy without him knowing, when he was just like at home with his kids and his wife and stuff. And not something that I would suggest anybody do, but was interesting to watch. And spent his life as an Orthodox Jew. and then went to rabbinical school and was on the way to becoming a rabbi. And then he was like, I don't think this is for me. I don't think this is for me. And again, as always, I got another one of these comments last night. Guys, I like to talk a lot. I will be pausing the video and giving my own commentary. That is why I started a YouTube channel. If you'd like to watch this without my commentary, the link is in the description below.
Mine was called The Amazing Racist, off The Amazing Race. It was just like a super overboard, right? They came to me with the idea and I was like, that's funny, but let's like really go for it if we're going to go for it.
No, but that was the thing. I've seen that.
Oh, you have?
You're Amazing Racist?
Yeah.
Going to the black convenience store in a Klan outfit?
Yeah. So either you get it or you don't.
Have you guys seen this?
If you're mad, I can see why you get mad, but also like.
But why? I mean, that's
you don't
so over the top that of course you're joking.
If I'm throwing oranges, at a Mexican yelling, go back to Africa, that you can't see maybe, or like, wait, but you're Jewish. I'm like, right.
Let's see. Just a little thing of what they're talking about here. This is The Amazing Racist asks Jews to sign petitions.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Okay.
Today?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? I'm trying to get a petition going. I'm trying to get Jews to apologize for killing Jesus. I'm trying to get as many signatures as I can.
I'm sorry.
It's
What did
just-
you say?
I'm trying to get Jews, yiddle diddles, Hebrews to apologize.
Do you know what you're in a Jewish market?
Yeah, I came to find them. They
I'm sorry. What is this? Is it,
are you sorry? That's great. If you could
No, I did not kill Jesus.
yeah, but I mean, your people did.
Are you for real here?
I mean,
What are you doing in a Jewish market here, talking to Jews this way?
how do you talk like that?
What-
Why do all you guys talk like such victims? Like that's what you sound like all the time. All the time.
I'm sorry. I'm not going to talk to you.
Oh my God. So I will drop the link to this. And, Ari is a guy who is about comedy first. Like, yes, it could be offensive, but if you know that you are in good faith and it's funny, then what is the problem? So that's what they're talking about here. The Amazing Racist.
Go back to Africa. That you can't see maybe, or like, wait, but you're Jewish. I'm like, right. So if I'm wearing a clown outfit and I'm a comedian as a Jew wearing a clan outfit,
Probably not in the Klan.
probably not in the clan. You see, it's ridiculous.
Maybe a joke.
Anyway, so my buddy Duncan Trussell, who's a great comic and hilarious and weird,
Shout out to
he
Duncan.
early websites. He built a website saying, if you prank my friend Ari Shafir, send him a prank call, record it, I'll give you $20 for the best one. This was before all that stuff came out. So the National Lampoon's DVD came out, and then somebody ripped it to the internet. So pretty early YouTube was like this, without context of National Lampoon's, just me going, hi, I'm Ari Shafir. I'm the Amazing Racist. Let me do this horrible thing right now. And it was
Shout out to Lucy Hathaway over on Kick. Said free Palestine. Fair enough. I can't say that I care too much about the issue either way, but fair enough. Welcome to the party.
me going, hi, I'm Ari Shafir. I'm the Amazing Racist. Let me do this horrible thing right now. Anyway, so people like saw it, Googled my name. The first thing that came up was Duncan. Before you even click on the Google search, it just says Ari Shafir phone number. So that
Was it your actual phone number?
yeah. So but it was pre-doxing. It was before any of that,
Before America got dangerous.
yeah. So I would just start getting phone calls. It was great.
Like what?
Oh, I'll fucking kill you. You think you're so funny. One of them was I picked up a bunch of Latinos, Mexicans, saying I want you to fix my deck, and then drove them to the INS building. And started yelling La Migra, and they ran out. Whatever. It was funny. Nobody.
So again, as we're seeing, one of these guys who is not going to be pushed around by political correctness, and not because he's bigoted or mean or anything, but because all he cares about is the laugh and making people, bringing comedy to the people. Shout out to Nick, Lou, Kitty in the building. Welcome to the party. Always glad to see you. Good to see you, buddy.
Building. It started yelling La Migra, and they ran out. Whatever. It was funny. Nobody was hurt in the making of it.
But people took it seriously.
People took it seriously. My favorite one was, I'll build a
Don't
deck
they
in your
all?
ass, Holmes. I would just get calls all the time. I had to put my ringer on mute.
But do you think,
They weren't serious, though. None of them were real. So when people go, I've been threatened, I'm like, shut up. This isn't a real thing. I've been getting it for 20 years.
but do you think anybody was actually offended?
It's instructive because I would get a few like messages, Facebook back then or MySpace even, and it was like, fuck you, you're a piece of shit, I'm Mexican, how dare you?
I would assume that that definitely people got offended, but to what he's speaking, that Twitter fingers. Twitter fingers became a thing because we know people will just say the worst things when they're behind a keyboard, and it just gives the anonymity gives them so much power.
And then I'd like write back like, you know, it's just a joke. I actually paid all those guys $50. Took them back to where they were working. Like nothing actually happened.
I don't care.
I drove them to a library. Wasn't even like, you know, it just looked like the INS building. And then they would respond like, oh, okay. I actually did think it was funny. I laughed when I saw it. I'm like, so we went from laughing when you saw it to threatening me.
So that means that, like they said, they always thought it was funny, but they just thought this is a way for me to get above you. This is a way for me to victimize myself, and that puts me above you, ironically. And I'm going to take it.
Supposed to.
And that is what it is,
Yeah.
right? People feel this like moral obligation to be mad about certain
Yeah,
things.
but your real reaction is you were laughing.
So do you ever get people walking out of your shows?
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
Why do you think they do that?
Number of reasons. Too dirty is the main.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about sex. You know, so that's an okay one.
Ew.
Yeah, it used to be the dirty comics were like, it's cheap, you're dirty. Oh, you talk about blowjobs. And it was like, okay, fine. And so then the clean comics were like, I'm a well-written comedian. I can do, you know, whatever. And they would just look down on us, but it wasn't a moral thing.
Right.
Now it's a moral thing. They put them on a moral high ground. They put these people on a moral low ground. So like, you're kind of evil for doing it. Not just like cheap or easy. You're wrong. You are wrong.
And doesn't that exactly follow with the political mindset that if you think something different than me, not only are you wrong, you are evil. Shout out to Stephen Colbert Cheese in the building. Welcome to the party. So I actually have not. I usually keep up with especially the bigger comics and their specials. I actually haven't seen Jew, but that is the the reason for. Well, let me get rid of this. The reason for the come on, goddammit. The fact that I did that was specifically because the his stand-up special is indeed called Jew. But no, how is it? Is it? I assume it's funny. It's Ari, but I'm much more familiar with him in a podcast environment. But welcome to the party, brother. Next to you on the internet, everyone is a tough guy. Yep, Twitter fingers. We also got Stephanie in the building. Welcome to the party. Is there anything here I can understand? Jesus. New out of Ontario or Toronto. It's hot. Man, the weather. That's as far as I got. Welcome to the party. Stephen Colbert said he goes over the line a few times, but that's intentional. Yep, I'm gonna get into all of that.
Evil for doing it. Not just like cheap or easy. You're wrong. You are wrong.
You're immoral.
Yeah, and it's like, but it's the same thing.
So sex is one.
Sex is one. I mean, I remember I had at the Comedy Cellar, I'll have people walk out all the time. The door guys laugh about it. They're like, every time somebody leaves crying, it's you. they walk out past me, literally crying, and it's always a drunk white woman. Oh, I mean,
it is 100%. That's who yells at me. What is that?
Mm-hmm.
Entitlement. They suck.
Entitlement.
Why do you think?
They've never had any problems. So they had the slightest problem. Like, this is the worst. You ever see rich people? They're like, my flight was delayed. Like, shut up. You sat in first class. And your flight was delayed an hour and you're bitching. Shut up.
So you think it's just like any inconvenience?
They've never, right. So this is the worst case scenario, is a slight inconvenience. I had to hear something I didn't like to hear.
But in a functioning society, you have a man at home to calm you down. Maybe that's part of the problem.
Well, you see it at the shows. The man that's with them sometimes is either like quiet or they're just like you can see them resign to like, you deal with it, bro. I'm not gonna fuck. I gotta live with it. So if I tell her to shut up, this is a month of.
Do they heckle you?
Interesting. So that shows a lot of the Stephanie. Remember, we can't be deleting a bunch of things that I don't understand. So say whatever you want, but if I see you deleting a bunch of stuff, I gotta play it safe. But what they're talking about here, and the notion of the men and the women, and it's always the women, and then the men with them, and that the whole thing that he just went over, it perfectly lines up with everything that we're always talking about how women will just not have a grasp of the actual issues that are going on, and hyper focus on the things right in front of their face. Solipsism, as we call it. It's just, this is the worst thing because it's happening to me right now. That crosses, whether we're talking about like red pill manosphere stuff or we're talking about politics, that always seems to come back to that same notion. We were just the other night talking about women in politics again. And it came out that who was it? Amb, I think, said she was like, I'm just telling y'all, I am not voting for a woman as a woman. So I mean, take that for what you will.
Like you deal with it, bro. I'm not gonna fuck. I gotta live with it. So if I tell her to shut up, I gotta. This is a month of.
Do they heckle you?
Yeah, they'll get mad. So I had a lady walking outside, like maybe a year ago, and I remember like, oh, this lady got really mad. I didn't notice it, but like she was really mad. And I was like, which joke? Was it Holocaust stuff? Was it Down syndrome stuff? Was it like war in Gaza stuff? Like it could have been any one thing, and it's not all of them. It's the only thing that you feel personally like this is the line.
Yep, it's always the one thing. You know, you can be as dirty and edgy and dark as you want, as long as it's not what their personal sensitivities are. But the moment you keep that same energy with something that they have a personal connection to, then it's like the end of the world. The same thing happens, obviously on a much smaller scale, right here on this show. We'll be talking about something, and somebody will be cheering me along for, oh yeah, let them have it. Da, 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 da. And then I have a disagreement with you, and it's like, well, what? You don't have to. Why? Why? This is what it is. It is what it is. Keep your keep it a buck. Keep it a buck. If you're gonna laugh when we're making fun of somebody else, then if you say something that deserves being made fun of, just take it. I certainly do.
Been any one thing, and it's not all of them. It's the only thing that you feel personally like this is the line, is the one that walk out on. And I didn't think anything of it. And then I was hanging out, had a drink up there, and then I left like 30 minutes later. This is always the fun. They want to tell you that they were right. And I'm walking out, and I pass by some woman. She goes, "You're a piece of shit."
Which I've gotten that. What did you say?
The lady. I just started laughing in her face and walked away. I'm not gonna give her an argument.
So she stayed to tell you that?
Yeah. It's funny when they leave and then stay.
And again, just using my own personal experience, it's like the people who will watch an entire stream of mine just to tell me that they don't agree with me. Like, just watch another video. Nobody is making you watch this.
To be just write a shitty Yelp review if you didn't get the service you wanted.
And how did she respond when you laughed at her?
They can't understand it. They're like, no, you should be mad. I'm like, I'm not combating you. I was just making jokes. Everybody else was laughing. I'm just doing this for everyone, for the joy. But it's also funny when you walk out angry. We're all laughing at you for not getting it.
And it's not, you never rise to the bait.
I have before.
Yeah.
But
we try, but sometime somebody gets to you.
It's never a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea.
Nope.
Yeah, it's just fun to toy
can't
with
win.
them.
I learned this with my Gen X video. That's the only video that's gotten me to the place where this is rung true. But once a video hits a certain level, then everybody in the comments assumes that they're some small person and that you're some big entity. And so, like, I'm just me. I'm little old Lutch. But because I respond to a comment that I got a notification for on my phone, that it somehow reflects negatively on me, that I'm even responding to you because you're so insignificant and you got me to, I don't get it. So at a certain point, the video that I did with Biden, just a short video that I posted once I first heard, that kind of blew up too. And people were saying that, Biden didn't endorse Harris. I'm like, is it really, really worth getting it? Well, actually, I know it's not in the letter, but they did it after. No, it's not. It's not.
It's never a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between you guys being here and, just leaving random comments. Like, if you say something I don't necessarily agree with while we're here, well, of course, I'm going to address you, at least as long as you show that you're in good faith. But if you're just, especially if it's some diatribe, especially if you're posting 12 paragraphs about something that doesn't even really have to do with the video, especially if I addressed it in the video, like, no. Come and talk to me like a person. Discord is free.
Bait.
I have before.
Yeah.
But it's never a good idea.
No, it's not a good idea.
Yeah. It's just fun to toy with them. To be like, I think you're right, and I will learn from this. It's just fun to fuck with them sometimes.
Has it gotten better or worse? It feels like people are freer to say what they think all of a sudden.
Yeah, internet, everyone feels they have their 40 followers. So like they're celebrities.
No, but I mean, it feels like the strike zone is wider than it was 2 years ago.
What do you mean strike zone?
I mean,
Tucker's asking, like, is it are there more people who see like, okay, all right, I personally don't like that, but I'm not gonna make a big stink over it. I think that's what he's asking.
You're allowed to say more things,
Yeah.
or there are fewer umpires, or they're just
We're allowed to say more things, or the
Yeah.
angry people allowed to say more things?
everybody's allowed to say
Yeah,
more
right.
things.
That's a good point. That's a good point. There might be more leeway for the comics, but there's also a lot more leeway for I'm offended by X, Y, and Z. And guys, real quick, if you do me a huge favor and hit that like button if you're not already, it helps out the channel so very much. It's free. It's easy. Thank you so very much. Shout out to our boy Pete Clab. Welcome to the party. So your most commented on and interacted video is from a generation that prides itself on not caring. Good job. Yeah, I mean, you just go through some of the comments. Just scroll through anywhere on that video and pick a comment, and you will find somebody who is over the age of 50 telling me that they watched this entire video that they don't agree with, but they don't care, but also they're going to write 12 paragraphs telling me about their entire life and remind me that they don't care, and then also warn me that I don't want to mess with them. What? Okay. And ironically, that's only reinforced the ideas that came out among, or throughout the process of doing that stream. In the beginning, it was, hey, let's make fun of the Zoomer for having a terrible opinion. And then we go through and we're like, you know what? There might be something here. And everybody got mad. But it certainly wasn't my intention, but it is what it is. So that's Nick said that's a lot of effort to just say you're wrong. Watch. Some people will go to hell and back to tell someone they are wrong. Crazy to me, but I'm crazy, so it makes sense. There you go. It's crazy to me too. It is crazy to me too.
Or they're just
We're allowed to say more things, or the angry people allowed to say more things?
everybody's allowed to say more
right.
things. It felt like there for a while, there were only like 4 things you were allowed to say. And now I hear people giving opinions.
Gen Z is way better than millennials.
Why?
Gen Z. Okay, so you ski or snowboard?
Yeah.
Which one?
Ski.
Of course he does. Why is Gen Z better than millennials? Let's see. I probably will agree, but I need to hear it.
Well, obviously I don't snowboard. I mean, come on now.
Yeah. Well, so I was a skier in late 80s, snowboard started, mid 80s.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, I'm not skiing. That's my fucking dad. I'm a snowboarder. It's cool. And then a generation passed, and now the kids are like, I'm not snowboarding. That's for my father.
Yeah.
So they go the opposite way.
I stayed true to skiing and it never changed. Yeah.
Always.
You still ski?
Snowboard. Yeah.
Yeah.
All mountains should be no snowboard
I
mountains.
completely agree. I think there's only one in the United States.
Jumping out of the fucking Alta in Utah.
Deer Valley too.
Deer Valley, yeah. Icons got
And
it
they
right.
wreck the snow.
They wreck the snow. They slide down. It's Mogul City after they get done with it.
And they take out old people, which I will be
They
soon.
jump out of the trees.
Oh,
like,
I know.
They have a spotter.
I know.
Just have a fucking spotter.
And they're too high, actually.
Well,
Little high is fine, but they're way too high. I mean, I've seen
I fell off a
snowboard.
lift.
You fell off a
Too high
lift?
and drunk. I was trying to get on. You know the thing where you put your skis under you? So I was like, I saw some cool people do. I was like, let me do that. And I was trying to do it, but then I started getting pushed. And I'm like trying to do it, and then I was just down.
That hurts.
It does hurt.
Yeah, your bindings don't release when you fall off a ski lift.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch to go through here. I'm going to skip over this portion, and then they're going to be talking about what Ari was doing before he went into comedy as a
Who's
rabbi.
God going to say did it right?
No, that's actually completely
like you're
defensible.
not actually affecting it. And if
Let's
enough
actually,
people
there's a whole book
hold on.
in the-
I want to hear where that's coming from. Let's back
all
to
the
the
time, and I'm George Bush. It could be Hitler. Trump was Hitler.
Trump was definitely Hitler. Right?
Everybody's Hitler. And I'm like, I don't. Where's this happening? So it's like you hear these worst case scenarios all the time. They don't come to fruition. And also it's like you still won't have any effect on it. When they were talking about going to war with Iran, they're like, this is a nuclear holocaust. And everyone was bitching about it. And I was skiing. And I'm like, you guys can lose your last days. If there's a nuclear
I thought you were snowboarding.
holocaust coming, these are your last days. And I spent it skiing, and you spent it arguing online with a stranger.
If you knew, let's say a week. Let's say a week from right at this moment, you knew that the world was going to end. What would you do with your final week on Earth? If you had 1 week to live, you knew. And let's say not everybody, let's say the world's not going to end, but you just know that your time is up in 1 week from right now. What do you do with that time?
Your last days. and I spend it skiing, and you spend it arguing online with a stranger. Like, who's God going to say did it right? You know,
No, that's actually completely
like
defensible.
You're not actually affecting it. And if enough people,
There's a whole book in the Jewish Bible called Ecclesiastes that basically makes this point.
Really,
yeah,
interesting.
You should.
Ecclesiastes. What's that in Hebrew? Do you know?
I don't.
Yeah, some of them were like Genesis. I'm like, I don't know that word. I know the.
Oh, is that you went to Yeshiva?
Yeah.
They didn't call it Genesis.
No. So I had to like Deuteronomy. I was like, oh, which one is that again?
How long did you spend in Yeshiva?
2 years after high school, but all high school.
Did you think you were going to be a rabbi?
It's a possibility.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
So all the way up, he grew up in this Orthodox Jewish family, and he was in it. And he went all the way to actually, you know what? Let me actually. I don't entirely know what yeshiva is. What is? Okay, yeah. So it's just seminary school, like to become a rabbi. All right.
But all high school.
Did you think you were going to be a rabbi?
It's a possibility.
Really?
Yeah, it was like possibility.
What was that like?
It was like in pre-law. Like,
what do you do in yeshiva, by the way?
Study.
Pardon my ignorance.
No,
like, what's the schedule? Like, you wake up when and do
Jewish.
what?
That's part of your culture is to be ignorant.
Yeah, I'm not a chosen person.
You wake up, you do a little learning. That's like choose your own adventure. So it might be like prophets, one of the side books or something. And then you pray. Then you go have breakfast. That's like breakfast ends at like 9. So 9 to 1, you learn Talmud. Then 1 to 2 is
this just independent study? You're just reading it by yourself?
There's classes, and then there's also also independent. But there's classes. We had a rabbi who was like.
So as he goes into this and tells this story, I had seen this part of it, and it reminded me of my own journey away from religion, and I'm curious how you guys are going to take his story, especially coming from a different religion. How does it land on you?
Like teaching us one of the books of the Gemara, the Talmud. You're so smart.
The Talmud.
I forget his name. Oh, it's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
Who is it?
I don't know, but
you can check it. No, it's all right. No, tell me who called.
That's your mom. Hold on. Hey, he's busy right now. I'll get back to you later. All right. Bye, Miss Tucker.
Miss Tucker.
That's what she went by too, Mrs. Tucker.
Yeah. Anyway, he was teaching us and then doing it really well. And then somebody went to the bathroom and they came. I forget his name. Let's call him Rabbi Jew. And they're like, Rabbi Jew, this isn't the right book. And he goes, oh yeah, I forgot the. I took the wrong one. Like, you've been teaching us from it, the whole class. And he goes, yeah. He just knows it by heart.
It was actually like a John Irving novel.
It was just a different tractate. It was like the encyclopedia. You're doing the E's and he's reading from F's, but he's still word for word of the E's. It was crazy.
So he'd memorized it.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about Orthodox, we're talking about Orthodox.
It was an oral tradition. It was passed down orally for a long time.
Was it interesting?
The Talmud?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So many fun. So not fun, but like, yeah, like I was telling you at breakfast. By the way, guys, Tucker Carlson feeds his guests breakfast.
Of course I do.
Yeah. What's your podcast do? Yeah, it was like if you accidentally kill someone, like you have to replace their wife, you have to pay their wife. This is what I was talking about. And like a doctor's wife, you pay more than a garbage man's wife. And then it's all arguing like, is a garbage man worth less? Does he have less value than a doctor? And then it's like the arguing. It's like, no, you're just trying to like, you have a responsibility to keep her way of life, keep her like richness there. So you have to pay her based on her income. It's kind of like divorce now.
Do you debate this in class?
Yeah, so you debate it, you talk about it. Then there's secondary rabbis who all weighed in.
No, but do you debate it at yeshiva? Do the students say, you know what, I just don't agree with this at all? Are you allowed to debate?
Yeah, 100%. It's all based in like, say what you think is not right here.
And this is what, I not until later on learned that, one of the biggest differences between the Jewish faith and the Christian faith, even though both being Abrahamic, is the encouragement, not just the acceptance, but the encouragement of asking questions and doubting things. And not that does, doesn't exist in Christianity, but it's so much more a part of the Jewish faith than Christianity. Yeah, we get into it. We just started. Chill.
There's a Philip Roth book, Conversion of the Jews. It's a short story.
Yeah, I never read it.
It's about it's pretty good. And yeah, Philip Roth. And
Portnoy's complaint guy.
yeah. And it was just about this kid in yeshiva in Brooklyn who was like, I don't understand, if God can create everything, the animals and light out of darkness, he goes, that one always got me. There was darkness and he made light for the first time. That always got me. And he goes, why couldn't he make a sun? They're like, no, God can't have a son. I was like, but why? He did all this other stuff. How come he can't? You're supposed to ask these questions.
So there's no penalty for...
There's no penalty. It's based in for 100%. You should be asking questions. We should have answers.
And look at the look on Tucker's face here. That like, wow, we're not supposed to be outraged by having a real rational questions.
If we don't, then your question is correct. And
it
if
sounds
we do
like a great education.
it's great. Ask everything. If it doesn't make sense, you got to ask, and we should have an explanation. You shouldn't be like, don't ask this stuff.
How many yeshiva students become stand-ups?
Not many. There's a couple, but not many.
It seems kind of like a natural training ground for it.
It was so helpful. That the logic basis of it, that between that and an English major, where you're also just same thing, kind of analyzing novels.
Textual analysis.
Like, what's he doing? What does this mean? It's just a great way of looking at humanity and then like writing a joke about it.
What do your rabbis and classmates think of what you do?
Well, so it's the religion part and it's also the culture part.
Right.
So the culture part was like, what are you doing? You're not making a living. This is ridiculous. This is embarrassing.
They didn't think you were making a living?
I wasn't for 10 years, temp jobs and whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of temp jobs?
We always got to remember the people in any kind of broadcasting, any kind of industry where you're putting yourself out there. When you discover somebody, remember that they've been doing it for a long time before you found them.
I worked for the Beverly Hills Chamber of Commerce. I just did like data entry in different places, moving boxes. Did some commercial. I started booking commercials for a while. I had a weird look. That helped, but that was like 5-6 years in. It was just poverty, but it was also great training because now you seem pretty immune to finances, to the dangers.
Yeah, I mean, Tucker's got FU money. Tucker's family's got FU money. So even not having been on Fox and, well, he was on MSNBC before that, but not being on mainstream media for what was it, 20 years? Yeah, he's got money.
To the dangers.
Yeah, you have money, but you seem kind of, I don't know you well enough. You seem
you.
like you're resistant to letting it. I was talking to you about Jake Hanrahan. He won't take advertising money, so he doesn't want anybody pressuring him to cover.
Yeah, I don't think you should worship money. I'm opposed to that.
Yeah,
I don't think it makes you happy. Debt makes you unhappy.
Right.
Money does not make
severe lack of money makes you
100%. That is real.
But
that's definitely a better way to put that, because money absolutely can make you happy when you don't have it, but that's because the lack of money is what's making you happy, or the lack of money is what's making you unhappy. It's not the money itself; it's the fulfilling a very basic need. So money doesn't buy you happiness, but debt sure as shit will buy you unhappiness.
I was broke for long enough where I don't need these things anymore.
Good for
I'm happy
you.
with like, I got an aisle seat. I don't need to fly private or first class. It's nice, but like I sleep in hostels,
I love that.
Compare that to I mean, Rogan is one thing, but compare that to even like a Bert Kreischer or what's his name, Tom Segura, who their entire show, they lost their entire audience basically because their entire show became about, look how much money we have, we're rich, we're doing stadiums, we're getting a bigger bus, we're doing a bigger tour, and they forgot to actually entertain the people.
Yeah, yeah, so I'm free of it, and it frees me up to do fun things.
So you took that experience and did a special on Judaism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to watch it.
Why'd you do that?
I mean, I've been looking at this stuff for forever. I just wasn't good enough to do it, but it was always on my mind. The non-Jews have 7 laws of Noah. That's all you got to do, and you get into heaven. And they're pretty easy.
They're great.
They're pretty easy. Don't eat an animal while it's still living.
Exactly.
Should be a no-brainer.
Don't kill.
Don't kill. Harder for some people, but not others. Don't rape. Even harder for some people, but most are still on the right side of it. I forget what the other ones are.
Adultery.
Yeah. It's not that hard. And you get to go to heaven and you'll be right alongside a rabbi.
Well, not only that, they're like very reasonable.
Yeah, they're not like hard ones to do.
No.
Camcast. So Joe Rogan openly got rich and changed his dance on universal basic income. Yeah, I think that, a lot of people, it's a layered discussion when we talk about universal basic income, because you have like the Andrew Yang version of like, okay, starting today, we're gonna do this, that, and whatever. Then there's the universal basic income discussion of, okay, over the next 50 years, automation is going to cause a real issue, and so on and so forth. Those are two very different conversations, even though they're both about universal basic income. And I think Rogan is more on the train of eventually it's going to be a good idea. I don't know if he would say today that universal basic income would be ideal, but you're right. He's definitely warmed up to it by a lot. I don't know if that has to do necessarily with him getting money. Did he say something about having money affecting his position on universal basic income? Because it just seems more over time and over talking to different people, the idea, and Andrew Yang himself, the ideas themselves stood out in his mind. I don't know if that's connected to him making money, but I mean, hey, if he said it, then I'm not arguing. Guys, again, if you're not hit that like button, please, guys, it is so easy. It is free. Just hit that like button and it helps so much. Thank you.
They're all kind of rooted in natural law.
Yeah.
No, I read that. And
when you convert, they're like, what are you doing this for? You're just gonna make it harder on yourself. You're going to heaven already.
That's interesting. Okay. You don't feel there's any contempt at all in that.
There becomes contempt, you know,
contempt in what?
At the end, where it's like, well, you're not in our group, so kind of fuck you, but that's not in the law. I mean, even Jesus is like, accept everyone, take them in.
Right.
But people don't really do that.
And this is what we talk about, and yeah, Nick, definitely agree. That sucks. But this is what we're talking about with this Christian supremacy, where it's like you genuinely think that is a prerequisite to be part of a political movement, and that's not what the Bible said. That's not what Jesus would have wanted. And according to Ari, according to the Jewish faith, that's not what they would have wanted either. I don't stop people, does it?
In the law. I mean, even Jesus is like, accept everyone, take them in.
Right.
But people don't really do that.
No.
Well, what if he's an atheist?
Yeah.
So, but I do think that the Sabbath laws are, like if you're using somebody else to do something that you're not allowed to do.
Yeah. Well, I talk about the loopholes in that special where it's like, you're actually not allowed to fully ask them, can you turn this light on?
Yeah, Bill Maher actually did a good bit on this in his movie Religulous. That again, as much as Bill Maher is Bill Maher, you guys know how I feel about religion, and he hit the nail on the head. I think even if you like, regardless of your religious beliefs, I definitely think that Religulous is something that everybody should watch. Maybe we'll do that as a movie night in Discord one of these days. But it's definitely a good refutation of the notion that you should be a Christian without being, and it's lighthearted and it's fun, and it's easy that if you are a Christian to be like, okay, like I see the points that are being made and he's not really attacking me, but you can see that there's other people who have ideas about religion, belief, faith, and so on and so forth, that it just doesn't connect. That your version might make sense, but not everybody's does. The Camcast said he came to the conclusion that people need a certain amount of struggle in order to persevere. So his stance on universal basic income as of right now has changed to oppose it. Okay. So I guess I haven't been keeping up with Rogan as much as I thought, because the last I knew, he was in favor of it. But this aspect of people needing the struggle, that's why I was saying he definitely wouldn't be for it today. Let's go, just start giving anybody money. So okay, if he's moving even further away from that makes even more sense. Gotcha. Look who we got, our boy Guam Tech. Welcome to the party, brother. Always good to see you. We are here with Tucker Carlson and Rogan comedian Ari Shafir, talking about being Jewish and stuff.
You're not allowed to do.
Yeah. Well, I talk about the loopholes in that special where it's like, you're actually not allowed to fully ask them, can you turn this light on? Because then that's like you doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But
so it's by
like,
implication.
It sure is.
Right. So if you're not familiar, you're not allowed to do work on the Sabbath. And so even flipping a light switch is doing work. And so the stereotype of how Jewish people can be like, oh, but listen to this.
Not allowed to fully ask them, can you turn this light on? Because then that's like you doing it. But
so it's by implication.
It sure is dark in here. I'm not allowed to turn the lights on. Non-Jews are allowed. But I can't do it. It does suck. I want to read. Yeah,
There you go. He lost it.
it's so loopholey. It's great.
Nick said, "Are you as tired as I am from hearing people say that Jesus, not you, the older one, saved Trump?" Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's to be expected. But it's definitely frustrating that that like things happen. Now, I will definitely say that it's a lot harder to explain how I can maintain the position that it wasn't God, because it doesn't seem to make sense. But personal incredulity is not an argument for the existence of God. Just because I can't explain something, just because you can't explain something, doesn't mean that God did it. Maybe, but you have to make that claim. You have to put that forth. You have to give the evidence for that before you make that claim.
I want to read. Yeah, it's so loopholey. It's great.
But what was the moment where you decided?
So you can't use electricity. I was in a dorm room in a yeshiva that's closed now in Hyperfocus, Jerusalem.
Spoke to me when as if you don't know, I was born into the Catholic Church. I was confirmed in the Methodist Church up until I went to I went into college as a diehard Christian. The notion of being an atheist was not anything I ever entertained. And within the next by the next semester, I was a full blown atheist. And this is a very not very similar, but mentally, not not the events, but the mentality here.
So loopholey. It's great.
But what was the moment where you decided?
So you can't use electricity. I was in a dorm room in a yeshiva that's closed now in Hyperfocus, Jerusalem, and there was a reading light above my bed, and you could use that to like read Talmud before you go to sleep or whatever. Left it on Shabbos, and what I was going to do was take a hand washing cup. There's like a ritual hand washing you do in the mornings and before bread, and I was going to put that over the light. It was like this little ball, and I was going to put it over like.
Is laughing work? What? I don't know what that means. I mean, I would assume that if we're talking about just laughing, then no, any type of bodily involuntary thing is not work. But I don't know. I'm not Jewish, so may. Shout out to Dietrich. Welcome to the party. So my wife does this shit on a daily. Oh, I'm just so thirsty. A snack sounds nice. If I had my shoes, we could go. If she pushed it too much, I just tell her, yep, sucks to suck. Well, is she Jewish? Because that would fit. I'm just saying. All right, the light's on.
And I was going to put that over the light. It was like this little ball. And I was going to put it over like drown the light. So the light's still on. It's just drowned out. The cup kept falling. Kept putting it on there. It kept, because it's round. It just kept falling off. It wouldn't stay on. And the light was in my eye. And it was frustrating. You want to sleep.
So it's just middle of the night. He's got, like a light bulb that he forgot to turn off before the Sabbath. And so he's trying to find a way, not allowed to hit the light switch. So he's trying to find a way to darken the light so he can get to sleep, because you're not allowed to do work. And turning off that light would be a crime against God.
It just kept falling off. It wouldn't stay on. And the light was in my eye. And it was frustrating. You want to sleep and you can't. And at some point I was like, I'm just going to turn it off. It's Friday night. I'm not allowed. But then the entrance to the yeshiva was like right here. My window was right here. So anyone coming in or out would see my light go off. And they'd be like, we're all these super Orthodox Jews. Mm-hmm. No light can go on or off. We'll notice that on a Friday night.
Right. So if somebody's noticed, the light is on in Ari's room, then the light better stay on until, Sunday or Monday or whatever they do. He said, I mean, her people rode on the trains, but she's a gypsy. Oh, okay. I don't Romani? I don't know. Either way. Welcome to the party, brother. Is YouTube just messing with me? Do we really only have 3 likes on the video? I mean, that's gonna hurt my heart. I'm gonna pretend that this is wrong and that we have 11 people here and we have 12 likes. I'm just gonna pretend.
We're all these super Orthodox Jews.
There
No
you go.
light can go on or off. We'll notice that on a Friday night. And I was like, fuck, I'll get caught. I'll get in trouble if I do this. So I didn't do it. I didn't even do it. Didn't break any law.
A law. We're talking about turning off a light. Turning off a light.
But I thought about it for like a couple years. The fact that I was more worried about a man getting me in trouble than God. When it's God's law, it's not man's law. Jaywalking, sure, I'll look for a cop before I do that, but the Sabbath stuff, that's all just God. I shouldn't give a fuck about Jews seeing me.
This is God's law. I shouldn't care about other Jews seeing me. And this goes back to the I forget the word that they use, but how it gets contentious, and going back to we should accept everybody, and then it turns into gatekeeping. That is exactly the mentality where you're going to get shame from other Christians, other Jews, other Muslims, other Hindus, whatever your group is, or other leftists, because that sure as shit is a religion. It's like, why are you focusing so much on what other humans are saying? If you believe in a higher power, whether it's God or the government, then it should be that you just care what they think. Brilliant. Guantag said, could you imagine practicing the Sabbath and having to call for someone just to turn off your light? I bet you wouldn't have many friends at that point. Well, from the scene in Religulous, there is an elevator at the synagogue or wherever they are. A better example I could use would be the phone that they use. So you're not allowed to press buttons on the phone. So they have something that looks like the Stream Deck here, and it's got all these buttons. But the way that it works is that all of the buttons are being pressed at the same time in the electronics. So when you press a button, then it's not or I guess it's not a button, it's a pen that you put into a thing. So again, you're not technically pressing anything. You're just inserting a pen into a hole that then stops the phone from putting in that number, and then it works backwards. And so whatever number you've stopped, that becomes the phone number. It's like, if God didn't want you to be doing stuff, then maybe this loophole is trying to trick God. But you're smarter than God. Exactly what he's saying. It's about other men. Because that sounds like work, Guamtech. Calling someone takes effort. For shame. For shame. All right. Where were we?
Right. Do that, but the Sabbath stuff, that's all just God. I shouldn't give a fuck about Jews seeing me. There's in the Torah, there's like a worse punishment for someone who steals in secrecy than who steals brazenly. Because at least stealing brazenly,
exactly,
you're not worried about man catching you.
Exactly.
And you're like,
my dad's a doctor, and I did not know this. Elevators in hospitals stop on every floor on Saturdays. Wow. I guess that makes sense. But very interesting. That's like, just use the stairs. It clearly God wanted you to use the stairs. That's all I gotta say. I don't believe in this, so why do I gotta stop on every floor? See, it's Dietrich's fault. God damn it, Dietrich.
Secrecy than it steals brazenly. Because at least stealing brazenly,
exactly,
you're not worried about man catching you.
Exactly.
And you're like, well, fuck God either way, but I don't give a shit about man. So the fact that I was more worried about people getting me in trouble than God, and I was talking about, I was like, I don't think I believe in him.
I said, shit, me too. So the fact that humans think we can trick God tells you everything you need to know about us. And everything that you need to know about the stories of God and how people interact with those stories and how people interact with their or what their beliefs are based on how they interact with those stories. So if the story is God doesn't want you to work and you're trying to find a loophole and you still think that you're following God's will, but you're not, you're just finding a loophole. What are you gonna say to God when you're at the pearly gates or whatever it is you believe? What are you gonna? Why is that okay? That should be, especially because again, I only know Christianity, but the notion that every sin is equally as bad seems like that would be an issue there. I don't know.
So the fact that I was more worried about people getting me in trouble than God, and I was talking about, I was like, I don't think I believe in him, or I wouldn't have done it. If I believed there was this like, old man in heaven saying, don't do this, it'll be bad for your mortal soul, I just wouldn't do it. Compared to like, if your dad's in the room, you don't masturbate.
Right.
Because you believe he's real.
Of course.
And his reaction is pretty obvious what it would be. But you're not just going to start jerking like, oh, what the fuck? I didn't know you were real, Dad. You're 100% sure he's real. And I wasn't sure God was real. And I was just like, and then I just looked more and more and I was like, I think I'm out.
Maybe
See, I didn't have a specific moment where I think I'm out. It was a collection of a lot of little things that like, do I believe this? Do I believe this? Do I believe this? Do I believe this? Until eventually it was, do I believe this? Yes. Do I believe this? Yeah, I think so. Like, do I believe this? Maybe. Do I believe this? I want to. Do I believe this? I just don't believe this. And guys, don't forget, every single donation comes with a treat for my adorable little co-host Morty. He is starving and he doesn't get to eat unless you guys not only hit the like button, but send a super chat, Venmo, or Rumble rant. Just kidding. But either way, every donation comes with a treat for Morty.
And I was just like, and then I just looked more and more and I was like, I think I'm out.
Maybe the lesson is you care too much what other people think.
And maybe.
Right. No, I mean, that's another way to look at it.
Yeah. So anyway, so my friends got mad. They're like, they can't leave religion. Like, well, if you don't believe in God, take the Torah, the holy sacred scroll, and like throw it on the floor. Which is like, if you see it fall, you have to fast for like, I don't know how long. And I'm like, no, I still respect you guys.
Right. This is like when, my dad was like, oh, there's a one of my clients is used to be, very atheistic and was living, drug addicted, so on and so forth. And they found God and cleaned up their life. You should have him on the show to talk to him. And I'm like, no, why would I want to do that? This guy's found a way to improve his life. I don't want to mess that up. I want to spread the message that you don't need religion. But if you feel like that message is incorrect, then I'm not going to directly take away or at least try to take away the vehicle that you have to bring your morals full circle. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is create a world where the people who are downtrodden then maybe look to religion, but maybe look to something else. Context. No wonder God is always looking at us children, and the gods before him looked at us as dangerous. Oof. Sounds ominous. Ominous. Nick says, if you can keep it up with your dad in the room, you have bigger problems than just choking your chicken. Got him.
It's like, if you see it fall, you have to fast for like, I don't know how long. And I'm like, no, I still respect you guys. I'm not going to like, it's so rude.
But you told your friends, your fellow.
A few of them. Some were angry. Some were like disappointed. Nobody was like, cool.
How dare you?
Nobody.
What'd your parents say?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty mad.
Hated it. Yep. Samesies.
Yeah. They were like, well, you're going to lose the culture. They're all fine now. So in hindsight, it's fine. But they're totally fine now. So just like, but at the time, they're like, what the fuck? They were really mad.
Yeah. P. Cloud says, surrendering your life to a higher power is literally a psychological tactic of pulling out of addiction. Half of the junkies found God. And yeah, that's why, like, that's not my, that's not where I'm focusing. Like, if it so happens that somebody who has found God to get them out of addiction comes to me and asks me what I believe, I'm not going to lie to them. But I'm not going to seek you out to try to tell you why I think what you believe is wrong if what you believe is objectively helping helping our society. We have the counterfactual. You were not a believer and you were a piece of shit, and now you're a believer and you're a better person. Remember, this goes back to Philosophy Friday about justified true beliefs versus knowledge. Just because the belief in God helps you be a better person doesn't make it true, but also just because it's not true doesn't mean you personally shouldn't think it. Shout out to Zippy DSM Lee in the building. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Well, and I mean, that's why you have to ask the individual question. Because on a balance of probabilities, no, I don't think that you're going to be a better person following a holy book to the T versus using your human rationality to maybe use that as a basis and then build a morality structure on top of that. But this guy specifically, who was robbing people and destroying his life, and not being a father to his daughter, yes. As a Christian, he was a better person than as I don't know if he was an atheist, but before he found God and all that stuff. And so that person, no, I want you to go to church. I want you to be a good person. What is more important to me is society being the best it can be, not making sure everybody thinks what I think. I do think that if everybody thought what I think, that society would be better. But the ends don't justify the means. I have to do the work of actually proving to everybody that my ideas are, in fact, better than other ideas. That's my responsibility.
It's fine. But they're totally fine now. So just like, but at the time, they're like, what the fuck? They were really mad. It was like, yeah, they were like, even a dog believes in God.
That's true.
You're lower than a dog.
Did they say?
Yeah. But I was like, show me that research.
Even a dog believes in God. Don't think so. Don't think so. Don't think so. Hey, shout out to Funk Master General. Welcome to the party. Coming off hot with a $10 super chat. And of course, as promised, every donation comes with a treat for Morty. Thank you so much. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Welcome.
That's true.
You're lower than a dog.
Did they say?
Yeah. But I was like, show me that research. Like, what are you talking about? Who's done a study on that? But totally fine now.
So how did you decide you want to go into stand-up from there?
I always kind of liked being the Joker. And then my friend Ami Butler was he was like, you should try it.
So serious?
So you moved back from Israel?
Moved back from Israel, went to University of Maryland. First went to Yeshiva University in New York. That's where I kind of like fully lost the religion. And I'm like, what's the point of paying for a split curriculum?
Yeah, of course.
College. So I switched to state school.
So Zippy says, bad man was a junkie, found God, but still does bad things, just not a junkie anymore. To some, he's a better person. Semantics? So no, again, we have to look at it at a person by person basis. So if you're if you're robbing people to pay for an addiction, and then you find God, and that gets you off of drugs, but you're still stealing things. Number one, you're clearly not believing what you're claiming to believe, because then you wouldn't be doing those things. And so then if you're not a better person, then no, you're not a better person. But if you behave in a better way, then yes, you're a better person. I think it just comes down to we are what we do. We are what we do. You can think all the nice things and virtue signal online, but what you do matters a lot more than whether or not you believe in this or that. It's your actions. And so if the person actually is doing better, then yes, we can say that they are doing better. If the person is doing the same stuff and just brings up religion, then obviously no. The point is that the person can use what I believe to be a fairy tale to legitimately become a better person. And so if you are that better person, even though you got there from a fairy tale, I don't want to take the fairy tale away from you, because I want you, more than I want you to have the truth, I want you to be a good person. Obviously, I want you to be a good person because of the truth, but for some of these people, that's not an option. And I'm not willing to be the one that's going to send this guy on the line of thinking that, maybe, I gave up all that bad stuff. I gave up all that bad stuff for actually need to give that stuff up anymore. Not going to be me. The
religion. First went to Yeshiva University in New York. That's where I kind of like fully lost the religion. Then I'm like, what's the point of paying for a split curriculum?
Yeah, of course.
College. So I switched to state school. Got laid for the first time.
Ever?
Yeah. It was it's nice. If you haven't tried it, you should fuck.
I haven't.
Guys, If you haven't tried it, sex it's fun.
Great, bro.
Busy. That's the
It's
thing.
great. You're busy destroying Democrats.
Jewish girl?
No. I have.
He's like, no, I can't take anything Jewish ever again. So he says a good dog needs lots of training to be a good dog. As a professional dog trainer, I can say that is absolutely true. God is a bad owner, and I am a cat, so I'm doubly effed. Yeah, I mean, that's a good analogy in the sense that a lot of people, as a dog trainer, I will walk into a new client and they have an expectation that their dog already is going to know what they want them to do. And that it doesn't work like that. You have to train the dog to see what it is that you want them to do. Then you have to reinforce that they do the right thing. And then you have to continue to reinforce that right thing so that you don't have to tell them over and over and over. And so if using Zippy's analogy here, if God is the dog trainer and we're the dog, then you're just expecting us to know. And there's a 2,000-year-old book that has contradictions and doesn't really make sense, that has nuggets of wisdom. That's not enough. Completely great. Shout out to Sarah Marie. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. Said some actions happen still without thoughtful purpose, not that it grants excuse. Just saying. I'm just saying, what are you just saying? Some actions happen. Yes, things do happen. Still without thoughtful purpose. I don't know what this means. Can you reword this one? I think I know where you're coming from, but I'm not exactly sure what you mean. So he said, without discipline, man wavers and becomes a bad dog or a lazy cat. Indeed. And I said, well, that's where you went wrong. That's where you went wrong, Ari. You were duped the moment you went from a religious college to a state college. Heathen. Yep. All the liberals and non-religious people destroying your mind.
Great. You're busy destroying Democrats.
Jewish girl?
No. I have.
Oh, so you went all the way out.
You look too much like me. It's like fucking a mirror. It's not the best.
No, thank you.
You're like, I'm legally not allowed to join in on this. I went. Yeah, I just had. It was nuts. It was so great. Got a blowjob. Oh,
did you call your friends back in the yeshiva and tell them?
No, I did not. I did not. I'm friends with a couple of them still, but not many. It's just a different world now. Plus, they all have kids. It's like, ooh.
How many of them got married?
All of them.
All of them.
Yeah.
So everybody gets married.
Everybody gets married.
At what age?
And have kids. Sister got married at 20. Wasn't that like crazy? It was just like a touch early, but not really.
But all those marriages seem to survive.
They really do, right? It's interesting.
Well, I've noticed that.
Yeah.
What's the divorce rate among Orthodox Jews?
So low. We had one divorced couple growing up in my neighborhood and was like, whoa, can you believe it?
And I think that should be a social norm. That it should be, whoa, can you believe it? Because the whether it's a religious thing or not, I'm a secular person, and so I don't have this notion of it's a covenant with God. That doesn't mean that something that you commit to for life should have any backdoor exit just in case. I'm not really down with it. And so I think the another positive to the religious culture is showing that you have to the stick-to-itiveness, that you are more likely to pair up younger so that you're not experiencing the temptation of all these different people. Ooh, who's the who else is out there? But you also have the value that when something is hard, you don't just give up, you work through it. Samarie said, trying to translate thoughts into a different language than one's own is hard. Not for the intelligent, but for mine. Well, hey, I only speak one language. So if you're if you're in your second, then you're already ahead of most of us.
Orthodox Jews.
So low. We had one divorced couple growing up in my neighborhood and was like, whoa, can you believe it? They're divorced. We thought it was so nuts.
Yeah.
And then when I got to University of Maryland and everybody's parents were split, and I was like, what?
So what works better?
I guess it's what you're looking for in your marriage, when it's just a union to like be a family unit and raise kids is the most important thing. So like this works for that.
I think I don't like the question. I don't like well, which is better. Well, obviously a relationship that has stronger values is going to be better than one without. But this begs the same question that we always have when this stuff comes up. Is religion the only way to have a culture to understand that a marriage should be a lifelong thing? Maybe at the moment right now, but because of the fact that so many people don't believe in one of any of these religions, we need to create that alternative. The secular group is growing. We can continue to ignore it, or we can lean into it and take advantage of it, because the left is definitely doing that.
It's just a union to like be a family unit and raise kids is the most important thing. So like this works for that. Or it's like, do I want fulfillment? And like, yeah, I don't know.
You don't think they're fulfilled?
I think if you're all you want is family, then yeah, you're fulfilled. You've got a great family, you know, you're part of the community. But if you're like, yeah, they say it's like misogynist Judaism because the women just stay at home. But I'm like, no, they're there to raise the family.
Right.
It's not like you're not allowed to work. It's like, this is your part. This is his part. He's raising money for the family.
Do you think a lot of,
you know, the way we did relationships throughout all of human history?
Allowed to work. It's like, this is your part. This is his part. He's raising money for the family. Do
you think a lot of Orthodox mothers secretly want to work at banks?
No.
Right.
Exactly. This isn't fun.
And it's voluntary. You don't have to join this lifestyle, right?
Yeah, right. Well, if you're raised in it, you kind of do.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess you could choose, but like they say that it's as much a culture and a race as much as a religion. So I don't know about that. Shout out to You Win TV. Welcome to the party. So at least we have a younger candidate now. I'm gonna assume you're talking about Kamala, and I hate to burst your bubble, but I don't think that is going to matter at all. But you know, one can dream. Welcome to the party. Yep, not necessarily successful, but definitely younger. And then, you know, of course, on the other side, you know, JD Vance is what is it, 39, I think. I'm not gonna look it up. I don't care that much, but I think he's like I don't even think he's 40 yet. So I think this is going to be the last election that we have boomers at the in office. I don't think that we in 28 we're going to see any boomers that make, I mean, they might run, but I'm saying making it past like the first round of the primaries on either side ain't gonna happen. By the way, welcome to the party. You Win TV.
And it's voluntary. You don't have to join this lifestyle, right?
Yeah, right. Well, if you're raised in it, you kind of do. It's not legally, but you know.
Do you ever have any regrets you didn't become a rabbi?
No. No. No, I'm having a great time. Some of them will look down on me and be like, they'll be demeaning, like, you'll be back, and like talk down to me, and it's like, oh, you guys fucking suck.
Yep, they say that to all the atheists too. Oh, you'll be back. I was an atheist when I was younger, and then, you know, I came back to be a smart person. Okay. UNTV said, sorry, I hate these old fucks. I want a young president. I said, shit, me too. Like I said, from the very beginning, I was always more on the Vivek train than the Trump train. But I'm definitely not mad about it. If I was on the left, I would be really mad about it. And yeah, I guess, you know, if you're on the left, that's all you got. Well, at least he's not going to die, or she, or they, or whatever. At least the candidate is not going to die, or we don't have to worry about them dying and being able to put sentences together. But you know, we have to be unburdened by what has been for what can be. Is that the line? I forget it. I heard it so many times. I'm gonna, if I hear it again. What is it? Wait, I know. Amber was saying that you had a video with it, right? Where is it? No, I don't know. Was it in Disciple Chat? Can I open this? That's not what I wanted to do. Oh, well. Okay.
I can imagine what can be and be
Oh,
unburdened by what has been. You know? What can be unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened by what has been. What
Let's see if we can
can
make
You
it
don't
through
think
the
we'll be
whole
back?
video.
unburdened by what has been. What can be unburdened.
Shout out to Orton's
What
Legacy.
we can see,
Welcome,
what we
welcome.
believe can be unburdened by
Unburdened.
what can be unburdened by what has been. What can be
Oh,
unburdened
I
by
can't.
what has been.
I can't. It's too much. It is too much. Oh my God. She is the most obnoxious person ever. Orton said, Randy Orton for president. I know enough to know that is a wrestler. And hey, it'd be better than Biden, wouldn't it? Welcome to the party. Did I miss this one? Oh, I'm over the place. Hold on. Did I miss this one from P-Clav saying, I think the family unit fell because women got told that being a housewife is bad. That if you're a housewife, if you got nothing and you're not worth much out there, they have no idea. Yep. This goes exactly back to what Ari was saying about his switch on why do I care about what other men think? This is God's law. I should be following God's law. And then it's like, do I actually believe in this law? And this is a similar mentality that the government, being God, the government saying that, oh, you need to be a bad bitch all by yourself. I can't disagree. It is straight indoctrination. Where are we? Zippy said, I hate how humans are blind to force, which then creates religion to that force. Humanity can never seem to let the individual be so they can earn their own self-discipline and respect. Well said. Bunkmaster said, I've never realized the beauty of her words. Yeah, I mean, there's only so much I can take before I start to well up and cry because it's so beautiful. Randy, I call it you, Randy. Orton's Legacy. He said, are you for Trump? I said, fuck yeah, MAGA, let's go. MAGA 24. Let's do it. I never realized the beauty of her words. So what do y'all think? Did Biden kick the bucket? Is he taking that long to walk to the ice cream parlor in the sky? I think he's. I mean, I don't know if he's gone, but COVID was absolutely the pretense to do all this. So from the moment they announced that, I was like, I bet you he doesn't have COVID. I bet you this is what they're going to use to either take him out of the race or take him out of life. And I think I'm right. I don't think we're going to see him for a while. I think the question of where is he is better for the Democrats than the putting him out there and after the Democratic coup on the party. I think it's better for all of them to just keep everybody in the dark, especially on the left. They're like, well, this is what's going on. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what's going on. Sarah said, well, Nick, there's an atheist behind most creations of religion, which is the basis of many dystopian predictions. I said dilly to that. Speaking facts. Ifram said, I'm a little behind, but the only problem I have with this Kamala person is that we don't know where they stand. They don't have like a track record to show us what they can do. Yeah, right. If only there was like a list of arrests and times at which those people arrested were supposed to get out of jail, and then when they didn't get out of jail, or if there was like court records of Kamala holding on to evidence, exculpatory evidence that could have let people out of jail. If only we had something like that. Oh wait, we do. What? Rebellion, not religion? What did you say? Works either way. I mean, rebellion at least has its place. I can't say the same about religion. P-Class said, does it matter what happened to Biden? He's not at the wheel anyway. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it matters. Like, I think from the very beginning of this election season, it was always a vote. A vote for Biden was a vote for Kamala. Again, remember, let's bring it up. Let's say corporeal form. Stay alive, Joe Biden. Democrats need little from the frontrunner beyond his corporeal presence. This was March 24th of 2020. March of 2020. And they were already saying, please stay alive. We don't know if you're going to, but just stay alive. And we are now 4 years later, asking for another 4 years.
Come on, man.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? We know that this is he's not at the like Pete was saying, he's not at the wheel. That's probably Jill, and she was not voted in. And I mean, neither was Kamala. But at least then everybody can destroy her in the election, and it's going to be much harder to convince the American people that more votes came in for Kamala Harris than Donald Trump. Sam Marie said they were too soon playing the C card. They meant to play it closer to the election, but he withered too soon. Probably. I think you're right. I think they wanted to get past the convention. They want to get past the convention, so there was no talk of primaries or anything where they could just slip whoever they want in there. And so clearly they're already doing that, but they do have to, if I might be wrong about this, but as I understand it, because it's before the Democratic National Convention, that they are supposed to have a primary of some sort. I don't think that if they do that it's going to be anything legitimate, and it's going to be whoever they want to pick, whether it's Kamala or it's somebody else. I think it is going to be Kamala, but as Vivek said, the race has only just begun. The race has only just begun. Funk Master says she's an expert on under the table deals. Oh yeah, in more ways than one, right? Shout out to Zibby DSMLA for the Rumble rant. Let's get Morty here's a treat and read what we got to say. Thank you. That's right. Every donation comes with a treat for my co-host Morty. Zibby said, my train of thought, force creates rebellion to logic and reason. Because humans force group will, it creates more chaos. Yeah. When you're right, you're right. Indeed, sir. Indeed. Sad. All right, where were we here?
On me, I'd be like, they'll be demeaning, like, you'll be back, and like talk down to me, and it's like, oh yeah, fucking suck.
You don't think he will be back?
No. What to what?
I don't know. I didn't.
If you're getting your dick sucked, that's totally illegal in that religion.
Get him.
Yeah, it's wasting seed.
Oral sex is illegal.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
It's
that.
wasting seed.
What?
Condoms are illegal.
But the sheet thing is not real.
Sheet thing's not real. This is all an Ari Shafir Jew on YouTube now.
So you got to the bottom of the sheet rumor.
It's on YouTube. Ooh. How long is it? That might be our after party. Let's see. Ari Shafir. It's an hour and a half. I mean, we'll see. Let's see. If you guys want to watch it, we can watch it right after this in the after party.
Sheet thing's not real. This is all an Ari Shafir Jew on YouTube now.
So you got to the bottom of the sheet rumor.
I was fooled. That's how strong a rumor it was.
Really?
I was fooled.
Did you ever talk about that in Yeshiva?
No, but I thought I had a rabbi who definitely did it. And my friend was like, that's a false memory. No way.
Really?
Because it doesn't exist.
Who spread that rumor? That's a pretty...
I think it comes from Tzitzit. It's like this, so there's 613 commandments. God, I lived in this for fucking 5 years. I forgot about all of it. And then I lived in it for 5 years trying to like go over the stuff again. And then I just put it behind me again. When you mentioned Talmud and I brought up Steinsaltz out of like, I don't know where that came from.
I was very impressed.
Yeah.
I didn't know what the Talmud was until pretty recently. I'm reading it. I actually think it's really interesting.
It's very interesting. But there's this, one of the commandments, you try to do as many as you can. Some of them are big temple based, so you just can't anymore. who don't have a temple.
That's in 70 AD.
Boom. They're going to have
Tucker knows his stuff. Tucker knows his stuff.
another one, the Messiah, they say. So those laws will be back. But you try to do as many as you can. They're good deeds and they're bad deeds, but they're all like commandments. 613 of them. One of them is if you have a four-cornered garment, poncho, you have to tie these tassels to the end of them. So sometimes you'll see strings coming out. From
Yes.
Okay. So they make themselves a four-cornered garment so that they can do that commandment.
What the fuck is a four-cornered garment? I don't even understand. What does that even mean? What is considered a four-cornered garment? The commandment to attach that to the four corners of our garments is a Torah obligation. Do we have like an explanation? Okay, I don't think we're getting an answer there. Let's try the next thing. What is a four-cornered garment? There are a few Jewish items more recognizable than the talit. Perhaps a Hanukkah menorah or a kippah. Maybe the Star of David. But when we see Jews in the media doing Jewish things, they often wear a talit, a four-cornered garment with tzitzit. Let's try images. Okay, so just like a shawl type deal. Okay. So just like, okay, so some of them gotcha. Okay, all right. Learning something new every day. So we're going to finish up this little piece, and then I want to skip to when they are talking about the Kobe. Oh, see, I should have seen this. A poncho. There you go. Like, just call it a poncho then. But the so they obviously we have a bunch here, but I want to. They talk about the Kobe Bryant joke. Let me actually do a poll. Are you familiar with the Ari Shafir Kobe thing? Let's see if you know what you know.
Okay, so they make themselves a four-cornered garment so that they can do that commandment, you know, and it looks like a t-shirt underneath their shirt. It's like you don't even need it, but you're like, here's our chance to wear it.
Have you ever worn one?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Is it comfortable?
It's neither here nor there. It goes in between a t-shirt and your overshirt, so you barely even notice.
Oh, so you're wearing 3 layers.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's why they smell. They don't fucking wash their shit.
How
enough.
does that? They don't. Do they? Is that?
They do smell.
What is that?
It's just like soap is expensive.
Soap
So I
is
always thought
expensive.
that was bigotry from secular Jews. Are always saying.
Yeah. No, they do smell a lot. It's also like you're fucking dressed like Johnny Cash in the summertime. It's gonna stink after a while. You gotta wash that all
So
the time.
Jerusalem in August is.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's like fucking Yangon.
That's actually true.
Yeah.
And just so everybody's clear, that's anybody who's wearing 3 layers of wool in the summer. It's not a Jew thing.
The Jerusalem, Tel Aviv, they're more shower centric.
Amazing.
It's nuts. When you get up the road from Tel Aviv, it's a windy road, and as soon as you get over that hill, it's a costume party. It's Fiddler on
It's
the
the
Roof.
best.
It's so weird. It's like you're living in an ancient time.
It's the most interesting place on the planet.
Yeah. 3 religions, 3.5 coming together on one little small area of an old city.
3.5?
It's like 2 different kinds of Christian.
I'd heard that, but
Yeah, it's
they're
like
pretty similar.
the Armenians and the Greek
Well, the
Orthodox, whatever.
Ethiopians, Greek Orthodox, Catholic,
Yeah,
Protestant.
but in the old city, it's like
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
All right,
I
so
don't know about 'em.
So they go a little bit more into this. If you're not familiar, shout out to Anthony D. Thank you for this. But right after Kobe Bryant died, this is what he put out on Instagram.
He ride with black people, so he has something to say about the Ari Shafir situation. But when I get this zoomed in real quick, we're gonna. Is your voice? You can't get there's no way you can get around this.
There's always a lot of like hate, pain in the world, and there's always a bunch of terrible stories. And every once in a while, there's a good story. Good story comes out.
Oh, I can't.
The guy who got away with rape got his today. Kobe Bryant is a god. I'm here in Charlotte, the home of the team that originally drafted him. Maybe he wouldn't have raped that chick in Denver if he'd stayed in Charlotte with the Hornets. But anyway, the point is, dude, it's like, guys, I know there's
So like, okay,
So, oof. Another oof with Sarah Marie here saying, living in the stench makes one immune, though. How the hell did we otherwise evolve? I mean, fair, but you like come around. You ain't got some contemporary odor repellent cover or something. That's just a deal breaker for me. But as you can see, this was the day after Kobe Bryant passed away, and you can even look at the some of the comments here. Oh, this is specifically Michael Rappaport just going off, but a bunch of people were really, really unhappy with that. So let's go to where they are talking about that.
No, it's this thing, this moral high ground. You get activated online where you just feel like,
have you been attacked by other stand-ups?
yeah, but also far more. The real story is I've been supported by other stand-ups.
Yeah, I would imagine.
You know, at a 95%.
Would they attack the Kobe Bryant stuff? They attacked you for that?
A few. But even in that, it was mostly positive texts. How you doing? You okay? I thought that was hilarious. And then a few knuckleheads. That's it. Who just felt
you got punished for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
People hated him. And remember in the beginning, he was talking about death threats. People went hard for Kobe.
Yeah. Yeah, it ruled up.
I
got a call from Milo going, good one, bro. Nice one. You got a lot of people mad. I'm like, thanks, buddy. Coming from you, that's fucking awesome.
So Milo appreciated it.
Yeah, Duncan was like, I think this might be your best one. I'm like, yeah, I know. I made a city crumble. Yeah, it was great. I turned comedians into hypocrites. They were all like, if you don't like a joke, just walk away. And now these same guys, because they live in LA or they were black, they were like, that's what's going too far. I'm like, haha, you have no ideals. I found your fucking, it's all, oh, just walk away if it's a rape joke, but if it's a fucking about one of your heroes, you're like, oh no, I don't like it.
And what were they talking about when they were at the show? That the women will the women that get offended will stay for the show, wait until after the show to talk to you and tell them, hey, this is my personal feelings on this. I know you do this every single night to a crowd of people that you don't remember, but my opinion is definitely going to stick with you because I'm more than those. I'm better than those people. I'm more important than those people. Same thing. And you know, obviously normal people who are not comics, if you get offended by something, you get offended by something, then you know, you get to whatever. But if you're a comic who's specifically on this hill of we need to be able to say whatever we want, and the joke has to come first, the comedy has to come first, and then you're going after another comedian. You know what I mean? Summary, see, one of my personal OCDs, you mean pet peeves? OCD? We don't have personal OCDs. So one of your pet peeves is about smell. So only speaking from the logical part of my brain. Fair enough. My parents became cat ladies. Ugh. Before I moved in here, there was long story short, there was a situation, and I had to live somewhere temporarily, and it was this old woman from my parents' church who had always, you know, she never got married or anything, and she'd always just, you know, lived by herself, did her thing. But she liked having, you know, a man living in the house, just, you know, for safety. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but you know, just having a man in the house. And so she had an open room. I needed a room, and my entire life was fit into this tiny little bedroom. And I forgot why I started to. Oh, the cat lady thing. Yeah, she was a cat lady. I lived there I was only supposed to be there for a couple months, but you know, it was $300 a month, so I stayed there to save some money. So the bathroom was here, and the door to my room was here. Not one time did I see that woman go into the bathroom. Not one time. Well, I saw her go into it, but not one time to go into the bathroom and take a shower. Not one time did I hear that shower. And she had 3 cats. Luckily, you know, I had Morty with me, so they stayed away from us. But then a couple months before I moved out, she had a fall while I was at work. And she, you know, she was taken to the hospital, and she was staying in the hospital. So I had the house to myself, and it was like, must have been like 3 or 4 days after. I'm not thinking about it. I'm working, I'm doing my thing. This is before I started the channel, but you know, I was working a lot more then with the dog training. So, you know, I'm doing my thing, whatever. And it was the middle of the night, and I just hear like out, I'm trying to go to sleep, and you know, the TV's real low, but I just hear, I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, there's cats here. And I'm just realizing, oh, these cats are used to like sitting with this lady all day, every day. And they've just been by themselves for 4 days. And, I'm not a cat guy. I don't like cats. I'm allergic to cats, but not like deathly allergic. But then I just, whenever I was going to let Morty out, out in the back, I just go in, give him a little pet and whatever, wash my hands and all that stuff. But I felt bad, I felt bad. But cats are nasty because I did have to. Well, that's exactly what I was about to say. I had to feed the cats and clean the litter box. Nasty. Let's grab this real quick. Sarah Marie said we have personal things we tick on, right? All have OCD to some extent. We do not all have the same ticks. Anyhow, I was just referring to how one adapt to smell or not evolve. I agree with you, but yes, having a personal tick is again what we call a pet peeve. OCD is a specific disorder. Unless you have the criteria listed in the DSM-5, then you do not have OCD. We don't have our own personal OCD. This is a common thing with the overuse of psychological language that people are like, oh, I have time blindness, or my anxiety and autism are kicking in because oh my God, isn't he so autistic? Like I personally have that is my personal pet peeve when people normalize the language of actual psychological disorders to normalize. Oh well, I just have OCD. No, you don't. You just have a pet peeve. Well, maybe you personally have OCD. Then what you would be saying is that part of my OCD or one of my ticks with my OCD is this. So then you should be right on the level with me that people who just have pet peeves don't experience the same thing that you do as having an actual, disorder. So I would appreciate if we didn't broadcast other shows while we are on here, but welcome to the party, Insight of Ages. It's just kind of rude to tell people that hey, the show that you're watching, we should watch another show. Discussing deep state normalizing pedos. Yeah, this is not a news channel, so I've had your warning, and I am letting you know that I would appreciate that whoever it is, do not come in here and tell people to watch other things.
I found your fucking. It's all. Oh, just walk away if it's a rape joke. But if it's a fucking about one of your heroes, you're like, oh no, I don't like it. You've never been triggered. Now you're triggered. Now you understand those people walking out. He's screaming as they walk.
Well, it's also helpful for the rest of us to know who they are. The phonies.
Yeah. It's just like.
Did you get dropped by your management for that?
Manager dropped me. She was also getting death threats at home
because you made fun of Kobe Bryant.
Dude, Laker fans are retarded. They're not smart people. They've only had winners, so they don't understand what struggle is. They're dumb. They're bad people. They're Laker fans.
So when she called you,
agree or disagree? Laker fans, stupid or not?
What'd she say? Your man.
She was like, I think she might have texted me. She's like, I think that's the end of the road for us. But I'm getting these like they're saying they're gonna come to me. They doxed her. They're like, I can come to your house and rape you. It's like, ugh, don't deal with that. Get out of here.
I mean, I completely understand. If you're somebody who's a comedian and willing to put out like, oh, I'm willing to be the guy who's saying all the things that nobody wants to say and take the backlash from that. Totally get it. And but once it gets to the point of getting doxxed and harassed when you're not the one doing it, I'm with her, and so is he.
They're saying they're going to come to me. They doxed her. They're like, I'm going to come to your house and rape you. It's like, ugh, don't deal.
Yeah, I mean, you say this, Zippy, but it's funny how whenever I'll bring up something, I don't follow sports, so I don't really talk about sports a lot. But as you guys well know, I used to be a big fan of UFC, and I just as of this year when they raised the prices, I just haven't followed it as much. But whenever I do something like we've done, what did we do with Sean Strickland was on. I think we did a couple on Sean Strickland, but anything, whenever it has something to do with UFC, I always get the worst types of comments and complaints and, oh, this is clickbait and, oh, why do you talk so much? And it's always the UFC fans. And I'm going to, spread that across and not say it's specifically UFC, but I'm with Zippy. And apparently Nick is right there saying, I hate Laker fans. As we said, to be fair, fans of stuff can be weebs. Yep. I mean, every fandom is gonna have its downsides, but there's some where it's a small group and most people are cool, and then there's other fandoms and groups where most people are whatever, and then there's some cool people. I would say anime is a good example that most people are but there's cool people. But every single fucking weirdo in the world loves anime. Changed my mind.
But I'm getting these like they're saying they're gonna come to, but they doxed her. They're like, I'm gonna come to your house and rape you. It's like, ugh, don't deal with that. Get out of here. Guys, what are you guys doing? They upped it. They upped it at that point. I never seen them up it like that. Where instead of going after you, they'll go after other people, like your loved ones, to try to hurt you. And it's like, well, what did they do?
Yeah,
What?
that's OD. That's OD. Like, if you ever find yourself so triggered by something that you're not even attacking the person who triggered you, but you're attacking their family, their friends, their job, like that ain't it. You know, there's a big discussion over libs of TikTok in the past, I guess, the past week or so of doxing people who have been celebrating what happened to Trump. And it's like, okay, I agree that those people are wrong. Do we need to be going and filming Big Bertha at Home Depot just working as a cashier and getting her fired? I was against it when we had the I was against it when we had the left canceling, and I'm just as against it with the right. And I don't even know what a weeb really is. What does that mean? Nick said, I can't. I think you're onto something with the anime thing. I'm telling you, bro, not everybody who likes anime is weird, but everybody who's a fucking weirdo loves anime. Change my mind. Shout out to King Nirvana. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. So we have got comic Ari Shafir sitting down with Tucker Carlson. Before they were talking about, you know, how he used to, if you're not familiar with Ari Shafir, he's a very well, like I said, not everybody who likes anime is weird, but everybody who's weird loves anime. But if you're not familiar with Ari Shafir, he's a very edgy comic. And they're you know, right now talking about how the day after Kobe Bryant died, he put out a video like, oh yeah, we got him, he's done, the suspected rapist is gone. And people, okay, so if you're familiar, yeah, people hated him for it. And just the notion here of how people with principles or people without principles, and that, you know, we usually talk about this in a political context, but he's talking about the notion that if you're a comic, then it's always supposed to be comedy first. If you don't like a rape joke, just walk away. Just do it. But when it comes to this, up, now you want to cancel people. Exactly the same thing with libs and TikTok. It's like, where are your principles? I thought that canceling people was wrong. For this, I thought that shutting people down for jokes was wrong. Do you have principles or do you not? Shout out to David Banner. Welcome to the party. I never said mad. I said loses it. And I think he lost it when he cracked up. So that's what it is. All right. So Guamtek said weeb is short for weeaboo? What? So if you know what this word means, just kidding. Shout out to Mr. Slip. Welcome to the party, buddy. Good to see you. Long time no see. Mr. Slip said, was weeb used as an insult and they tried to make it cool? Or did they call themselves weebs and then it became an insult? That's a good question. I would assume. Well, what is so contact? What so what is weeaboo? 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 What is that? This is like asking what is a woman. No, let somebody who acts like a woman. What? Sarah Marie said we're living in an absurd mixture of 1984, Brave New World, Handmaid's Tale, and Hitchhiker's Guide. Don't forget about Animal Farm. Have read the lot and a ton more. makes me even more eager to just stick to my garden. That's the way to be. That's the way to be. You either have to be in the fight or just back off. You can't be half in, half out, where you're talking about things that you don't know and you're half following things. Either be like, hey, I see the importance of this, so I'm going to make sure I understand what I'm talking about. Or, yes, I see the importance, but there's so much, and there's people who are dedicating their lives to this. Let me not get in their way. So I totally support that. David Banner said, to be fair, Tucker doesn't have strong morals. Telling people angry Joe Biden voters want to take your kids from you is disingenuous at best. Is it though? Is it though? How so? How is it disingenuous? Let's have the conversation. Okay, it started as an insult. So did it start as an insult and then Mr. Slim was saying start an insult and they try to make it cool? Or is it just like it started as an insult and it's just like, oh, okay, we don't care? Like, would you call yourself a weeb, or would you just not care if somebody called you a weeb? Zibi says, I infer a weeb is a strange kind of hyper fan. A weeaboo, am I saying that right? Is an insane ultra hyper fan, like Lakers fans. There you go. There you go. Indie Film said, I could be wrong, but I think the Libs of TikTok issue is that she's exposing people that are calling for a assassination of a Trump and to try again to get it right. Not making any kind of joke. Right, but she's not a comedian. So her principle isn't comedy first. Her principle should be freedom of speech. And so whether it's saying that trans people are bad or that the assassination was a good thing and they should try it again, unless they are pulling the trigger, that does fall under free speech. That's not an arguable thing. That is what it is. And so, again, just like Ari is talking about with the other comics, where their principle is comedy first. And then he's shown, oh, well, not when I don't like it. For Libs of TikTok, oh, freedom of speech. Except when I don't like it. I agree with you. I don't think that people should be making fun of it. I don't think it's good, but I don't agree that we should be putting phones in these people's faces and getting them fired. If the company happens to stumble upon a post where a person is making fun of it and saying try again and get it right, and they decide, hey, I saw this and I don't like it, that is totally fine. But that's not the same thing as straight up cancel culture. It is cancel culture. You can say that you're okay with this form of cancel culture. Sure. If you want to be okay with it, then be okay with it. I'm not. But you can't say that it's not cancel culture. King Nirvana said, Ari has a crazy hemorrhoid. Google Jew claim video for science purposes. I will let you guys do that one on your own. That is not going to find itself on this screen. David said that telling people angry Joe Biden voters want to take your kids from you is disingenuous at best. I asked how so. And David said, telling Fox News viewers that the opposition wants to take your kids from you is not only wrong, it's hyperbolic and dangerous to stoke the flames of your base. So are we saying that if there is a child in a liberal state that wants to change their gender and the parent won't do it, that CPS is not going to get involved? That's not a thing that happens? Because if it happened once, then okay, hyperbolic. We're talking about politics and punditry. If we're saying anybody who's being hyperbolic is not a good person, then we would have no news. So let's make that a wash. So if we are saying, then yeah, we watched it at the beginning, but I don't know what that is. This is in response to the trans thing. So if it is happening, then it's happening and it's not a lie. So either it's not happening, if that's your position, or it is happening, it's not something to be worried about. Mr. Slip said, I'm a closet weeb. Came out for a while. Those people be crazy. Back into the closet. I think that's the way. If you like this shit, hey, enjoy it. Enjoy it. But maybe that's one of those things like porn. Maybe just keep it to yourself. Not everybody needs to know. Not everybody needs to know. Zippy says, David, California is telling teachers not to tell parents things. The left does lean more to take kids from parents. If Kamala Harris called for the assassination of Donald Trump, that would be free speech. Yes. So if she's saying it as an official, government official, obviously that has more weight. But are you making the argument that that's not free speech? So calling, okay, I missed the word. So calling for, no. Calling for it is not free speech. The woman did not call for anything. She said she wished, I don't remember the exact wording, but it's something along the, oh no, you missed. I wish you would have done that. That is not a direct call to violence. This is a direct call to violence. Refamiliarize yourself with the First Amendment. Come on, bro. You know better than this. Yes, saying I wish somebody died is your freedom of speech. It doesn't matter if that person is Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Ari Shafir, Tucker Carlson, Indie Film, Lutch, or anybody else. You are allowed to say, I wish this person died. Oh man, I am angry that that person did not die. Notice how I just said that. Because that's free speech. If I am saying, if I'm calling for this action, then no, that's not free speech. But that's not what this lady did. You're moving the goalposts. If you are engaging in free speech, which this is not, if you are engaging in free speech, then you should not be fired from your job because somebody online blasted that out. That is the cancel culture that we've been against the entire time. Are you not familiar with what cancel culture is? Is this new to you? Come on, man. You know better than this. You know exactly what cancel culture is. You know exactly what free speech is. And again, if you are okay with this form of cancel culture, then just say you're okay with this form of cancel culture. But that lady did not call for an assassination. Sam Marie said, one of the last proper comedians, Ricky Gervais. Shout out to Ricky Gervais. Ooh, who doesn't love Ricky Gervais? Hell yeah. P-Clab said, there's a guy called Ryan Macbeth, and he says Liberty TikToks is some kind of misinformation account. Well, that could only be the case if what people are posting is in itself misinformation, because she just reposts what people post. Mr. Slip said, I think if someone calls for violence, you should report them to the police. Going and shoving the phone in their face is cancel culture. Thank you, so. Thank you, so. Yeah, exactly. Will the police do anything? Well, probably not. But, you know, that's free speech and cancel culture. That's what those things are. You're allowed to have free speech. And if somebody tries to get you fired because of your free speech, because they don't like it, that is cancel culture. Whether you agree or disagree, it is cancel culture. So you have the freedom to say, well, I like cancel culture when it goes to the people that I don't like, but I don't like cancel culture when it goes against the people that I agree with. You are allowed to have that opinion. But if you're saying it's okay that we got that Libs of TikTok got that Home Depot lady fired, then you are okay with cancel culture. That's it. We got that one already. Yeah. Any film said, I also don't think Libs was involved in any of the cancellation. People saw the video on her channel and took action on their own. So in only this is disingenuous to act as if the original video that had no platform that is then reposted by Libs of TikTok has no bearing on the cancellation is silly. How many views did that video have before Libs of TikTok reposted it? I don't know why you're acting like this is a new thing. Like, if I were to bring up any other cancellation from somebody on the right, you'd be like, yeah, oh, cancel culture. But because it's on your side now, you're like, well, no. You're coping, bro. You're coping. Zippy said, Libs of TikTok is just reposting public content people wanted posted publicly. Yep. I'm directly addressing you. The only thing that I've said to you has been stuff about you. So unless this is not about me, then I'm talking about what you said. P-Clav said, do you know the skit by which skit? Zippy said, calling for assassination is a direct call to violence. Wishing is vague enough to be free speech, but very bad taste.
Bingo.
There you go.
Go after other people, like your loved ones, to try to hurt you. And it's like, well, what did they do? What do you do? It's just idiots, you know, online going, it's like they're all playing. They don't even, if they actually saw someone, they wouldn't do that. You know, they actually, nothing in real life, by the way, zero, only online stuff.
Really?
And I try to calm everybody down. Like, guys, I've been getting death threats for 2 decades. This isn't real. This is game.
No, it's not. Don't miss next time is not telling anybody to do anything. The don't miss next time means if you are already going to get yourself in a position where you're going to shoot, don't miss. That is not a call to action. That's not how the law works. You're just wrong about this, brother. I love you. This is just take the L. Take the L. This is not it. You are wrong. You are wrong. I promise you, you are wrong. Dave Banner said, calling the police on speak is red flag laws shit. Well, again, if somebody is actually calling for violence, if they're saying we should, you know, whatever to this person, that's a different thing than saying, I wish that this person was no longer here. I wish that if somebody else was going to take it upon themselves to do something, that it's successful. Those are 2 different things. Those are 2 different things. And so if there is somebody who's maybe not directly calling for violence, but legitimate violence, then I'm okay with calling the police and being like, hey, I'm not sure what's going on with this guy. He's saying things that makes me think he's going to go whatever. It's not based to just let a bunch of let a mass shooting happen because you don't want to be like the liberals and rely on the police. That's stupid. They commit a crime, call the police. Bingo. Oh, won't someone rid me of this priest?
What?
Monkmaster said, Libs is the first link in the chain that ended up with Chubby Stuff getting fired.
Bingo.
Exactly. Well, I don't get it. Priest? So won't someone rid me of this priest? I don't get it. Sam Marie said the death of free speech actually died with the ban of the N-word. Prove me wrong. Reference, people even react to this to Spanish labeled color markers. I don't know what there's a lot of stuff that's going over my head. What are Spanish labeled color markers? Like markers where the colors are labeled in Spanish? Like where it says negro? Is that what you mean? Prove me wrong. People even react to the, if that's what you're talking about, then I agree. Any films. Okay, so what's the number that deserves to be made public? If they have 10 views, don't make it public. Oh, okay. So it is public. It's already public. You were saying that Libs of TikTok Libs of TikTok blowing it up did not help that lady get fired. That's not true. Even if the lady was going to get fired on her own, like I already said, I would be fine with that. If her boss stumbled upon the post and personally decided, I don't like this, and so I want you I don't want you to work here anymore, that's one thing. But then when it gets blown up and the reaction is, oh, I don't necessarily care that you said this, but I need to fire you because of the pushback. That is cancel culture. That is cancel culture.
Try to calm everybody down. Like, guys, I've been getting death threats for 2 decades. This isn't real. This is gamer talk. This is just gamer
that's
talk.
True.
Yeah.
Fact.
The best one was this guy was like, if you come to North Carolina, I'll kick your fucking ass. I swear to God. And then an hour later, he wrote back. He goes, okay, I see you're in North Carolina right now. But if you come to Greensboro, North Carolina, I'm not going to really kick your ass. I'm like, no, you took a shot already, dork. You took your shot. Shut up. If I ever see you, I'll kill you. I'm like, my tour schedule's there. Have some fucking ideals. Come get me.
Again, back to the ideals and principles. Stand on business. Not that I'm saying you should go do those things. I'm just saying don't say the things you're not going to do.
Do you worry about that?
I used to in the very beginning, but it was never even a fuck you in person. It was never even a like, shut up, fuck you. It was never even that, let alone actual danger.
So you've never had anybody come to your house or hassle you or anything like that?
No, but online, and they went after other people. And so then, but no one, I was never punished from any moral.
Your manager.
So a Funkmaster said, won't someone rid me of this priest? Is making a suggestion that can be interpreted as off the priest. I guess this is what you were trying to say, Gonzag. So won't someone rid me of this priest? It's not specific enough, because that could just mean take him out of the room. And we have to err on the side of freedom of speech rather than, well, I think maybe you meant this, so technically we're gonna, it could have been interpreted. No, unless you are specifically and explicitly calling for violence, then you are allowed to say whatever the fuck you want, including this, including I wish the shooter didn't miss. You are allowed to say that. That is the fundamental principle that this nation is built on. Samarie said all the left and white labels. Yes, the virtue signaling shit. It's is working against what one think is the true reason. Fair enough. Mr. Slip said passively aggressively calling for violence. Yeah, that's allowed. That's allowed. And David said, I think you mean tactically. Hey, the law is the law, and it's man's law. So loopholes are allowed.
People, and so then, but no one, I was never punished from any moral.
Your manager
stance.
shouldn't drop you. I mean, I feel sorry for her hearing about it, that she got threatened.
Yeah.
But you're paying this person to have your back in moments exactly like this, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, getting death threats and stuff. I mean, again, I'm just like Ari is. I'm totally fine with you being like, I'm not cut out for this. So, any film that lives a TikTok exposed the person and they got fired. Would it be different than if somebody was secretly meeting in their basement and planning an attack? Is it okay if it's in the dark?
What?
The expose the person part is the issue. The expose the person part is the issue. There was nothing to expose. She did not break any laws. She just said a thing that you didn't like. That is not against the law. That should not get people fired. And again, it's really sad. It's really, really sad that you're not able to see that it's the exact mirror image of the cancel culture that we've been talking about for the last 7 years. It is not illegal, but we're blowing this up to specifically try to get this person fired. That is cancel culture. Define cancel culture if it's not that. Define cancel culture. Let's do that. Any film, why don't you give me a definition? Cancel culture is. Let's start there.
but you're paying this person to have your back in moments exactly like this, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So to abandon you in one of those moments, is pretty much the greatest dereliction of duty imaginable.
Yeah, we're not really friends anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like you guys, this is the time to
What's the whole point,
help,
right?
Yeah, help me through this.
Yeah, it's not when you're like,
It's a private company. They're allowed to fire you for whatever they want. And we're getting a lot of backlash. That's at will employment. That's not against the law. It's not like they did nothing. While it may not be against the law to say I want I wish the guy didn't miss, it is certainly going to be against company policy to say those things. And so if you're breaking company's policy, but you're not breaking the law, and then somebody who has a platform blows your shit up to specifically get you fired, when you have broken no laws and you would not have otherwise been fired, how is that not cancel culture? And I will revert back. Again, just let's start with a definition. How do you define cancel culture? Let's start there. Give Indie Film, you give me a definition of cancel culture, and then we'll work from there. And we'll see if your definition fits what we mean when we say cancel culture and what happened in this particular situation. What is cancel culture?
Yeah.
Okay, so cancel culture would be going back in time and firing Robert Downey Jr. for playing a black man on Tropic Thunder. It's taking something that was not objective at all in the past and using it against someone. So it's only has to do with stuff in the past. So so cancel culture is not if you tweet something and then the next day, because people are mad about it, then you get dropped from your manager and your job. That's not cancel culture. It has to be something in the past. I'm just trying to clarify. So it has to be something in the past, yes or no?
Greatest dereliction of duty imaginable.
Yeah, we're not really friends anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like this is the time to
What's the whole point,
help,
right?
Yeah, help me through this.
Yeah, it's not when you're like,
oh yeah. And then my producer pulled out because they were like, I was going to do that special. And then he was like, oh, I can't do it because he was in LA. LA people thought it was the end of the world. And I was like, what? No, it's nothing. I even had an Uber driver like coming back from Charlotte. I was doing a gig in Charlotte when it happened. And I came back, sat an Uber driver, and he was talking. He was like, did you hear about this Kobe Bryant guy? I was like, yeah. I was like, what do you think about it? He goes, it's just weird. I don't know. It's like, it's sad, but like, it's him and his daughter and then 7 other people. They don't seem to give a fuck about those 7 other people. And I'm like, right, Riley?
that's fair.
You got it. That's what these jokes are. When
Bars. I mean, when you're right, you're right. Guys, we have it just across the 2-hour mark. If you would like to keep the party raging, you know how to do it.
some celebrity dies and I'm mocking them online, it's because like you guys value celebrity life over normal life.
Well, you
7
also
other
made
people
a
died.
pretty biting point, I thought. Well, I'll tell you my reaction,
Yeah.
which is I never criticize anyone when he dies. Okay.
Right.
So there's that, but I'm not a stand-up. But I thought you made a totally fair point. I'm not against Kobe Bryant, but he was credibly accused of rape.
Yeah.
They hassled the woman until she dropped out,
Mhm.
right?
Started spreading rumors about her. 7 other people semen inside her. It's like, no.
During the trial,
Uh-huh.
right?
Damn.
And
Stuff we wouldn't hold by today.
he admitted that she never gave consent, but he implied non-verbally that there was consent,
Yeah.
and he strangled her.
I mean, I'll be honest. I did not remember the details of that case. I was a little, not being into sports. I don't remember what year that was. I was probably a little young to be paying attention to that kind of stuff. Anyway, but damn. And then everybody just went back to loving him. King Nirvana said he was playing an Australian white man playing a black man. Yep, Tropic Thunder is a classic. Nick said we have a right to free speech. We don't have a right not to be offended.
Bingo.
They don't work together. It's like oil and water. Indeed. So Mr. Slip asked, if I travel back in time and cancel him, is it cancel culture? Well, that's the question, because what Andy Film brought up was something from the past. And so I've seen people get canceled the same day. But if we're saying that's not cancel culture, well, now we are understanding our semantic difference. So Any Film said, I see cancel culture is taking something in the past. Again, so again, yes. So you're saying yes, that it has to be in the past. So if I tweet something today and then Libs of TikTok, I tweet something offensive or I say something offensive on my stream, and then Libs of TikTok takes it and blows it up. And I didn't say anything that was actually wrong. I just said something that offends people. And then everybody collectively determines that if you like the Indian Jesus or you watch the Indian Jesus, you're a bad person. And therefore my channel dies. Because it was today, then it's not cancel culture. So again, that now is the question. The situation I just gave you. So let's say in this stream tonight, I say something that is not illegal, not anything wrong, but offends people. Then somebody on the left who has a big platform takes a clip and posts that and asks for my channel to be demonetized. You're saying that's not cancel culture because it's not from the past. You tweet something today, it's not necessarily offensive. Today, maybe edgy, but in 20 years, consider it offensive. Okay, so this is where this is our disagreement. So you are just saying that because it was a recent thing, it changes the moral value. I disagree. I don't care if it was 20 years ago or if it was 20 seconds ago. If you're going to try to get somebody's livelihood, somebody's way of life destroyed because they said something that you don't like that is not against the law, that is cancel culture, whether it's 20 seconds or 20 years. So you may disagree with that definition being cancel culture. Fine, then it's not cancel culture according to you. But whatever it is, it's still fucking bullshit. I still don't want to be getting people fired for saying things that I personally don't like. Maybe you do. And you're allowed to have that opinion that I want to go around and get people fired for saying things that I don't like. If you want to do that, go ahead and do that. But that goes against my principles because I believe in free speech. And I believe that even if you say something that I don't like, you say something that is deeply offensive to me, that as long as you are not breaking the law, i.e. calling for violence, then I will fight for your right to be able to say that. You apparently are not the same. You only want to hear what you want to hear. Yeah, where do we go? Sam Murray said, being a former leftist, I will not disagree with your reflection. Yet, what I've come to, quote, learn is that the truth lies somewhere in the middle. Blaming left or right has no purpose. I could agree with you on that. King said, do you dabble in video gaming? Nope. I do not. That's the two things where, again, there is not any weirdo in the world. Let's just say America. I think the world fits, but let's just stick to America. There's not one fucking weirdo in America who does not love video games and anime. Why? Specifically, those two together. Again, not everybody who plays video games is weird. Not everybody who likes anime is weird. But everybody who is weird loves anime and video games. Explain that to me. I don't get it. P-Clav said to Anyfilm, I want to go back to when No Doubt was saying they are pushed back, and Gwen is being pushed forward. Did 3/4 of No Doubt get canceled because Gwen solo was more profitable? Was that cancel culture? Mr. Slip said, how will cancel culture look when everyone has Neuralinks? Like a Black Mirror episode, but 10 years from now. So they had the not exactly the Neuralink where you just automatically know what people are thinking, but where they record everything that you see, and it became very common to just go about your day and replay the events that happened. And in that episode, it was somebody was doing something they weren't supposed to be doing, and they got caught because it was recorded on their little eye thing. Yeah, definitely gonna get worse as time goes on. Mr. Slip said, I thought Libs of TikTok just reposts. Did they call for someone firing as well? So let's get the actual tweet. I believe she did have Libs of TikTok Home Depot. I believe she did. What? Wait, what? Yes. So, hi, Home Depot, tagged. Hi, Home Depot, tagged. Are you aware that you employ people who call for political violence and the assassination of... And so let's actually get the sound, because I believe...
Are you Darcy Waldron? Yeah?
I was Waldron, yeah.
Okay, from Cayuga? And you think that the shooter should have been a better shot?
So, should have been a better shot. Not telling anybody to do anything. Just expressing that, oh man, I wish he was a better shot.
Is that what you posted on Facebook?
I am at work.
You think that the shooter should have been a shooter, huh?
I am at work.
Yeah, I think that's pretty messed up.
I do too. Not something you should lose your job for, because I believe in free speech.
Pretty anti-American if you ask me.
I agree, but I don't think you should be fired, because you know what's more un-American? Getting people fired for the things that they say that you don't like.
As a veteran, I'm disgusted. What have you provided to this country? Huh? I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. You are ridiculous. And I'm making you famous.
So this was no like, oh, hey guys, just look. This was always to be, hey, we want to get this person fired because of the things that they said. If that is not cancel culture, then I don't know what you call it. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. I'm not for it. And if you are, then we don't agree on what free speech is. Time. It's what makes cancel culture. Agreed. Oh, no. Did I offend you? Sorry. Sam Marie said, only had to watch the first episode of Black Mirror to be affirmed about what we're approaching. Oh, yeah. I mean, the last 2 seasons, they kind of, they dropped the ball. But the first 3 seasons, I don't know if I will ever have a TV viewing experience like that again. It was so mind-blowing, so on point. And if you guys like Black Mirror and you have not seen Electric Dreams, that's the Amazon Prime version of Black Mirror. And it's a bunch of stories, same kind of thing where each episode is its own story. And it is from stories of Philip K. Dick, who I wasn't really familiar with before Electric Dreams, but just crazy stuff. And it's a little bit more out there, whereas Black Mirror tends to try to be as realistic as possible. But it is definitely, once you've already seen Black Mirror, Electric Dreams the next best thing. Mr. Slip said, probably the formula we were given as babies rots the brain and makes us like anime and video games. I think so. People like their overpriced stories. Anime and games and comics are some of the best stories. Fair enough. I wouldn't know. I'll have to take your word for it. Any film said I need to buy that projection t-shirt because I feel like you're doing a little projection. I was just trying to talk about what was going on with libs at TikTok and the term cancel culture. What did I project? Because if I didn't project anything. Projection! Again, projection is not saying things you don't like. It's accusing other people of doing the things that you're doing. So what did I accuse you of that I'm actually doing? All right, hey, we got Kelly Green in the building. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. That's fine. You should take the time to do something politically instead of try to get views. Hell yeah. Exactly. All right, let's dive right back in.
She never gave consent, but he implied non-verbally that there was consent and that he strangled her. So, there was something there.
His words. Although at the time I didn't realize, I now know she does not think she gave me consent. It's like, all right. So
I'm not much
that's his word.
Right. I'm not much of a feminist.
Yeah.
Even I'm like, no, that sounds like rape to me.
By the way, also, I don't really care. What I'm doing is making fun of our society.
Well, that's exactly it. I haven't stayed up late worrying about Kobe Bryant's assault either, but these are the same.
Really? I every night I can't get to sleep because I'm just thinking about Kobe Bryant.
People who are telling me to value all women and believe all women or whatever, but they actually don't care at all.
It was wild.
And you made that point.
And I was in
totally
LA.
Fair point.
As a Laker hater, just going, well, they're not going to let him off. He'll be going to jail, hoping he would, because I want the Lakers to fail.
Yeah.
And then when it became time for him to go to when he retired, I'm like, they're not going to let him have a retirement season. The women of LA, the liberal fucking women of LA are never going to let this accused rapist get through his fucking victory lap without mentioning it.
So, Guantek, I don't necessarily disagree with you here. As much as I don't like using your enemy's tactics, I do think that the starters of cancel culture need a taste of their own medicine. It's hard, though, because you don't know when it will ever stop. So, the taste of their own medicine, I agree with you that they deserve it. That doesn't mean that we should be the arbiters of the thing that we don't like. The reason that they deserve it is because they did the bad thing in the first place. So, if we are to do the bad thing, then how are we any better? Just because somebody deserves something doesn't mean you are justified in giving it to them. Just because we believe that, a child rapist deserves to die doesn't give you the right to kill them. It's just that simple. Indeed, we will always have prenub. Ha. Man in High Castle. What does that mean? P-Clav said, watch Foundation, based on Asimov. He invented the 3 and then the 4th laws of robotics. We'll check that out. Zippy said, anime and video games are a drug. Lutch is scared he'd get addicted. Possibly. Few people can handle their drugs well. We should learn from Lutch. I'll take it. Exactly. Instead of canceling them, we should mock and or ignore them. 100% agreed. Nick agrees with Sarah. So I don't think Republicans or Democrats are completely right or wrong. They're good and bad in every group. They've just been taking turns on which side is being worse. Well said, sir. Zibby said, I get Indy's base train of thought. The only problem here is when you yell fire and people get hurt. It's not like you posting vague threats and getting fired for it.
Bingo.
Exactly. There are absolutely things where, hey, you said that and now you should get in trouble for it. I wish the shooter didn't miss is not one of those things, no matter how much you dislike it. Gromdek said to the Funkmaster, that's probably the best way to handle it. Ignore or ridicule. I do think there is something to getting a taste of your own medicine that solidifies how wrong you are. It's just a dangerous tactic. And yeah, I think that's the reason we shouldn't engage in it. Not because they don't deserve it, but because number one, it brings us down to their level, and two, it gets out of hand. Yeah, agreed. Funkmaster said it weighs so heavily. It weighs so heavy that sometimes I feel like Kobe assaulted me. I'm right there with you. Let's do a dilly dilly for all of those who feel just as raped by Kobe Bryant. Kelly Green said, no need for revenge with bad tactics or even believe in those tactics. That's what the fuck I'm saying.
Of LA are never going to let this accused rapist get through his fucking victory lap without mentioning it. And they were so cucky. They just were like, no, we don't go after black people. We only go after white people. That's
based, Zippy.
It's just the way it is.
So this has been brewing inside you for a while.
Well, I hate the Lakers. I just like whatever. I had a bit on an old album of just, it was called #FuckTheLakers.
Good point, P-Club. That I don't agree with Mock anymore. Mocking gives them the reach, i.e. destiny. I think that definitely depends on the person. Like if you're just a random person, then talking about them is not necessarily going to help them. But certainly if they already have a platform, then giving them the time of day is not going to hurt.
I was in Denver and I was like, oh, this is where he fucking raped that chick right here.
Did people laugh?
Yeah, of course.
Why do you hate the Lakers?
I don't really. It's just fun. But it's because they killed comedy shows in LA. Every time they're in the playoffs, it'd be up 3-0 in the first round. And a game when they'd be the 1 seed against an 8 seed, and you'd have a show and no one would show up because they all had to watch the fight. These bandwagon fans had to watch the fucking Lakers.
Oh.
So I'm like, I fucking hate the Lakers.
Okay, so I like this. Guantex said, I don't know. The Starks in Game of Thrones got taken advantage of so hard because they held so hard to their morals. Some people just don't play by your rules. Okay, so let's ask the question then. Do you think that Ned Stark would have preferred to play the Game of Thrones and be on the Iron Throne? Or do you think he preferred to die as an honorable man? Let's make that a poll. Would Ned Stark have rather played the Game of Thrones to win or die an honorable man? Win, honor, or I didn't watch or read. Because I think this is a great format that you're bringing up, and I think it does speak to your point. However, I think it speaks more strongly to my point. But yeah, let's see what everybody thinks. Mr. Slip said Naruto teaches us that fighting hatred with hatred only creates more hatred. Love is the only way to break the cycle. There you go. Maybe anime is good for something. I'm only messing with you guys. I'm only saying it because I know a bunch of you love anime and video games. Kelly Green said you cannot say don't use those tactics just to appear good. You have to believe against them. Those things being cancel culture. Yep. King Ivana said when both sides do something to each other, the dumb cycle can never end. Exactly. Hey, shout out to our boy out sponsoring himself yet again. Oh my goodness. A pillar of this community. A treat for Morty with every donation. No question, no comment, just pure love of the game. I don't know, man. I don't have the words. It's you know, I'm working hard. I'm doing a lot. And the fact that you continually show that you see it means the world to me. So thank you so very, very, very much. Everybody put FMG in the chat for the Funk Master General.
Show up because they all watch the fuck. These bandwagon fans had to watch the fucking Lakers.
Oh.
So I'm like, I fucking hate the Lakers. Nobody hates the Clippers.
No.
You know? So it's like, so you just like lean into it. Like
Yeah,
my number one team is anti-Lakers.
That's totally fair.
Number two team is the Pelicans. Yeah.
When you tell jokes in China,
Yeah.
do you tailor them to a Chinese audience? And like, what's a funny joke in China?
So anywhere
Ching chong bing bong.
else, it's you get halfway through a joke and realize, shit, you're not gonna understand this reference. Like you don't think
Like a dog eating joke or something like that?
No, you don't do that. They were just like very clear, do not make fun of the government. And I was like, okay. And they're like, listen, we're gonna tell you twice because I know you're a comedian, we're comedians. We can tell you that. It's gonna make you want to do it. Don't do it. We'll get shut down. There's a chance you get arrested. There's a chance we get arrested. Don't do it. It's not like it won't work. It's gonna be painful for all of us. And I still did one anyway. I was like talking about anti-government at the time, and I was like, my country needs a fucking Mao to come fucking murder all our senators. And they were like, whoa. And I was like, no, it's pro Mao. It's pro Mao. And like, dude, change the fucking subject. Yeah, but anyway, that Kobe stuff, some people just like waited and got mad, and they were like, he shouldn't say this. I was like, fuck off.
Wait, other stand-ups said that?
Yeah, a few.
Like who?
Nah. But like they don't.
I'm not going down that road. I will make fun of Kobe the day after he died, but I'm not naming names.
They are. It doesn't matter. Others were mad, but just like personally, like, dude, come on, man. Miss Pat called me. Was like, all right, you can't make fun of our heroes. Like, make fun of Dennis Rodman. And I was like, all right, or Michelle Obama. She goes, no, not Michelle Obama. I'll tell you can make fun of. But she just called and would check up on me and stuff like that. And then other people, she'd be like, fuck that fat bitch for going against you. Oh, Miss Pat rules. But like,
shout out to Miss
just
Pat.
check on you and never say a word. You know, some people like fought tooth and nail to be like, defend me. Other people were just like, it's not my fight, but I hope you're doing okay.
Who defended you?
Mark Norman went hard on me once, not hard on me, hard for me on a radio show in San Diego, talking about how like
it's comedy, man. We don't have comedy. What do we even have?
Jokes are jokes. If you didn't like it, it's just you didn't like it. Andrew Schultz went on the Breakfast Club, a very black show.
Whoa, yeah.
There you
was
go.
Like, you guys are way off. You're way off. I mean, that was ballsy to go on a black show. He was a black hero. So just like when Cosby stuff came out and they didn't want to hear it, they didn't want to hear this either. So I like bringing it up. Again, it's not about Kobe. It's about them worshiping heroes. So he was like, no, it's a fucking joke. You guys are getting it wrong. And then that was
no.
Did that go over?
They were fighting him, and he was fighting back.
Good for him.
Schultz has always been on the right side of this. Other people, Hinchcliffe, some people, he was like, he goes hard defending just any comic there.
Okay, so the poll right now: would Ned Stark have rather played the Game of Thrones to win or die an honorable man? So 25% of you are saying that you're not familiar. So we are going with 75% of the vote. And right now, honor is up twice as much. Just letting that sit for a second. So King Nirvana is saying in his situation, talking about Ned Stark, his family wouldn't have had to suffer if he would have went against his morals one time. Arya had to become a no-face ninja. Pretty wild. But he was a good man. I understand. I don't necessarily agree with that. How would him have, because then he would have had to been hand to it was after hand to Joffrey, right? He would have had to been hand to Joffrey. And at that point, then he would have to do all of the things to prevent what happened to his family. So it's not just by being alive that, Sansa's not going to get married to him and all this stuff. So, I mean, maybe there's again, I'm not a book reader. I have not read the book. So if you can back this up by something that's in the book that was not in the show, then I'll take your word for it. But I disagree. I don't think that him going against his morals that one time would have changed anything, because then he would have had to go against his morals again and 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 again. So I don't think that's an argument, because that would just put him in a situation where now, okay, either I continue to go against my morals and potentially win the Game of Thrones as a dishonorable man, or I die as an honorable man. Sorry. Samarie said, honestly, can't stand anime. Simply after watching some on a different, yeah, and the moaning, I can't even watch Pokemon after that. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but I will continue to not watch anime. I am open to, what is that one, Attack on Titan that you guys keep talking about? Like I said, if you guys set it up, if you guys set up the watch party, I don't know how long these episodes are, but it can't be that hard to get 3 people in the voice chat. If you guys set it up, I will watch it with you. But you have to set it up. Context said, I admit I have a soft spot for characters like V from V for Vendetta and Rorschach from Watchmen. They represent a dark but sometimes needed side to justice. Flawed but useful. Fair. I mean, definitely fair. But does that? I don't know that really is directly relevant to the question of Ned Stark, because V for Vendetta is a very different story than Game of Thrones is, and V is a very, very different character than Ned Stark is. And so, if we're taking that story, that character, that changes things by a lot. Yeah, I'm with you. Mr. Slip said, also, didn't Ned Stark in the end was sticking to his morals because he uncovered the poison in the king's wine? I don't think so. Again, unless this is a book thing. He died before he died in season 1, and Joffrey didn't die until I think it was season 3 or season 2. But yeah, he died in season 1, and Robert Baratheon died from the boar. He got skewered by a boar. He didn't get poisoned. So unless there's somebody else, again, I did not read the book. So Glumtag said, I'd say Batman is probably the pinnacle of the idea. Well, what is his? Does he have any rules that he never breaks, despite what other people are doing? If we're not talking about Zack Snyder. There's one thing that Batman won't do. No matter how much other people are killing, Batman will not kill people. So this is directly in line with my argument. And I agree, that is the pinnacle of the idea, that we are dealing with the stakes being higher than anything that we're talking about with comedy or Home Depot or anything like that. And he sticks to his principles. And that is why he is beloved. He could just take the Snyder route and just go guns blazing and take out everybody he doesn't, who's doing something wrong in Gotham. That would be a very different character, wouldn't it? That'd be a very, very, very different character. That's not who Bruce Wayne is. That's not who Batman is. And that is why we appreciate him. So exactly the reason of not giving them a taste of their own medicine and living on your own values is why Batman is the pinnacle of the idea. So thank you for making my point. I appreciate it. You said Pokemon game fans have to be drug addicts. Fair enough. I don't know anything about this stuff. So Context said the poll should be with more harm. Okay. So nobody else voted on that. So we'll do exactly what Context said. Would more harm or good be done if Ned played the game? Again, I don't know is for if you, no. I didn't read. I was gonna give an I don't know option, but I know some of you who did watch or read are going to use that option. Is that? Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it. But I was pretty certain, at least according to the show. Is that a poisoning? I'm pretty sure that he was like, give me the milk of the poppy because I'm dying. No, I don't think that's not a poisoning. That's like that's euthanasia. Yeah, Ned preferred honor, no doubt about that. Samari said, V for Vendetta, a modern take of 1984. Recently, we rewatched the movie. Actually, it's one of my favorites. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it in a while, but I definitely remember it being super impactful. Yeah, too drunk to hunt boar because he was just drinking regular wine, and then he got stuck. And then I think by the end, he decided that he wanted the milk of the poppy in his wine because he wasn't gonna get better. But again, I could be wrong about that. That was a thing that started Ned's hunch that Robert was not being able to handle his wine. Okay, I mean, if it's the case that Ned Stark poisoned Robert Baratheon, then my whole thing goes out the window. But thanks to Gomtech, Batman's a better example. So fuck Game of Thrones, let's go with Batman. Why does Batman? Is it better that Batman kills or doesn't? Or would it be better if Batman killed or didn't kill? King Nirvana said the three-eyed raven used his powers to get into the war and injure the fella to kick things off. I feel like you're making that up. Shout out to Ayush Gupta. Welcome to the party. What's happening? A lot's happening. So Ari's on with Tucker, and they're talking about the Kobe Bryant joke. The day after he died, Ari put out this joke about, rapist died, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about how he did that to challenge the celebrity worship. Then here in the chat, we're talking about the notion of cancel culture and whether what Lives a TikTok did to that Home Depot lady by tagging Home Depot and saying, hey, do you want to employ a person like this? Is that cancel culture or not? And then we're Gomtech was bringing up the notion that while we don't like cancel culture, there is an aspect to giving people a taste of their own medicine. And while I agree with the fact that maybe some people on the left or otherwise, some people may deserve to be canceled, that's different than actually trying to get them canceled. I think that's a good wrap up of what we've done so far. Welcome to the party. We have to jump back into this video because I got a piss. Well, that's what I'm saying. Batman uses the underhanded tactics, but knows when to draw the line. Most people don't. That's why I say he's the pinnacle of the idea. I just wish we had that kind of control. I think we can have that kind of control if we don't cancel people the way that Batman fights the people who do wrong things, including killing people. But he has his line of not killing people, and the analogy then would be even if other people don't respect free speech, we should have issue and quote unquote fight that those things. But we should stick to our principles that free speech is the foundation of a good society. Explain to me if we're using Batman. Explain to me how it's not a direct analogy of cancel culture and killing people. That this is we believe in this principle. So no matter what, even though we're fighting these people, we're not going to use this tactic. Agreed. All right, let's dive back in here.
How did that go over?
They were fighting him, and he was fighting back.
Good for him.
Schultz has always been on the right side of this. Other people, Hinchcliffe, some people, he goes hard defending. Just any comic there. Err on the side of just defending your art form. And don't even say, hey, I didn't find the joke funny, but it's his right to say it. Well, don't even say that part. Just say the second part. It's his right to say it. Why, when everyone's coming against somebody for a joke, be like, I didn't find it funny. Don't say that. You would never say that normally. You would never, in times of peace, go, I didn't find that.
But Tony Hinchcliffe defended you.
No. Schultz defended Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh,
when he had a, they all get their kerfuffles, you know. Who else? Tim Dillon made like really funny jokes about it.
Good for him.
You know Tim, right?
He was just here.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to Tim.
In fact, I texted with him yesterday.
He fit in this chair.
He's slim these days. Yeah, he's in fighting form.
Yeah, he's on a diet of fucking twink cum.
I didn't ask him about that. I think he's really gay. I don't think
we all be like, prove it. Kiss one guy in front of us.
Do you remember Pete Buttigieg ran for president? He's supposedly gay, and now he's transportation secretary. And I had one of my producers was gay, and he goes, he's not gay. I was like, are you serious? He goes, no, that's complete bullshit.
Wow.
Oh no. He goes, and gays all keep very close track of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't, you know what? Now that I think about it, that would not surprise me one little bit. That is just like I've been saying since Henry, for those of you who've been here that long, can accuse me of being gay. I was like, bro, why the fuck would I not clean up by leaning into being gay if I was really gay? Like, I promise you, if I was gay, I would use that to get more views, but I'm not. Shout out to Sarah Marie. Thank you for the super chat. Come on here, Lord. Said, giving the Lord a treat. Thanking for the chat. Thank you so very, very much. Morty very, very much appreciates that. Beautiful. Much appreciated.
That's complete bullshit.
Wow.
Oh no, he goes, and they all gays all keep very close track of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And my producer's like, no, it's totally a pose. He was dating women just a few years ago. That's totally fake. Wow. He's not gay at all.
Smart.
Ha!
I said that on the.
Ha! I knew it wasn't Ned.
Yeah, people got all offended. I thought it was kind of hilarious.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
It is hilarious.
Yes.
And you're also like, I'm not against gays. I'm saying he's not one.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah.
All right. So before we go on to Tim Dillon, so the question is, would more harm or good be done if Ned played the game? And 7-14, again, we're split 14 and 14 on the other options, and 71% of you say good. And I'm gonna call Cope. I'm gonna call bullshit. And if you can't explain that to me, then that don't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. But you're allowed to think stupid things. Context of the world. Yeah, we got that one. Where are we? Shh. Funkmaster said maybe Mayor Pete is working out some under-table deals with Kamala and Ugandan Nightmare. What? That might be a little too deep for me. I don't get it. But Tim Dillon indeed is a boss.
Like, I'm not against gays. I'm saying he's not one.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah. So Tim went on and he goes, he plays a good dumb sometimes on purpose.
Oh, totally.
Like you do with the questions. He does that with dumb. He had this thing about when they were trying to ban Apu. And he had Giannis Papas has this like old Greek guy character, and he was like asking questions to Pete about Apu, asking questions to Tim about Apu, and he goes,
meaning Apu from The Simpsons, in case you didn't get what they're talking about.
This man, he's a bad father. And he goes, oh no, he's actually a great father. There's a white character in the show. He chokes his children. He's a really bad father. But Apu is no, he's got 8 kids and he's really wonderful. So he's some sort of deadbeat. He goes, no, small business owner. He goes, I don't get it. And Tim's like, yeah, I don't know. They just don't like her. Anyway, so he did that with me, where he goes, well, Ari's actions and his words were terrible. To take a hero like that and make fun of her, and his producer's like, yeah, it's tough. It's like, it's just like, you get on the day of a death to make fun of Aretha Franklin is so shitty. And the producer's like, no, it was not. Kobe Bryant's like, no, I read it. He did a thing about Aretha Franklin, and he goes, that was a different one. He goes, oh, so he does this all the time? It's not about this one thing that they hear? No, he said something about Aretha Franklin. He's like, it's not that. He goes, well, I'm pretty pissed about the Aretha Franklin thing.
Because that's a common thing that Ari does, is try to be the first one to make the joke when somebody dies. That's, a comic thing. That's what you do. I don't necessarily care to be that person in society, but again, I want people to be able to be that if you want to be that.
From like 3 years earlier, it was just his way of saying, like, guys, shut the fuck up, in a funny way. That was like the most creative way to do it.
Oh, that's inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
Does anybody pay any attention at all to the late night hosts? Like,
no.
Well, white liberal women who are not married.
Like, that's not even a category anymore.
True, I guess, but
not even.
No.
Really.
So funny. You see them sometimes like crying about something. Like, what happened to your industry? You're crying.
But when you were a kid,
That's all it was.
Yeah,
that was it. You'd watch the Tonight Show monologue.
But when you guys get to when like you and Tim Dillon are having dinner,
yeah,
you're not talking about what Kimmel said.
No. Occasionally, we will.
It might be like, hey, did you hear when Colbert was dancing around with a bunch of syringes? Maybe that, but not like, oh, did you see the latest one that Kimmel was saying this? And actually, Colbert had an interesting rebuttal. No.
I'm trying to stay positive. So occasionally we'll talk about how cool Kimmel used to be and how that is really him, the cool guy.
Yeah.
And he's, I don't know, playing pretend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Kimmel there was a roast for a local kind of lunatic comedian, Peter Chen.
Put one in the chat if you remember the Man Show, the original Man Show.
We had a sort of fake roast.
As distinct from other comedians? What does that mean?
He was a bit crazy. The owner of the comedy store passed him to like let everyone else kind of fuck with him. He was a bit of a, not me lunatic or you lunatic, but like off. And that's
So when a stand-up says that, it's real.
a terrible comedy, like no future, no past comedian. Yeah. And so he was just a local, like at the Comedy Store, he was like, you could just fuck with him all the time. He was crazy and angry, driven to anger at all times. So it was fun to fuck with him. So we had a roast for him, and everyone, did their thing. And then it's his turn to get up, and he goes to everybody. He's like, you say this about me, but you are the man. Nice. You wear a plaid shirt, not straight lines. And like, he thinks he's getting you. And then he goes to Jimmy Kimmel was on the dais. I mean, it's an 80-seater that's got 30 people in it. Before he might have already had a show. He might not have. But
spit it out.
But he goes, and Jimmy, you say I am a snake. You are a snake. And Jimmy Kimmel cracked his beer bottle. He was like, I'll fucking kill you. And he had to be held back. That's who he is. He's a funny guy.
Like as a joke. I was like, wait, what?
I don't know what that is, but he's a funny guy.
Shout out to the Man Show. I mean, I remember, because I was a young buck. I was a young buck just coming into my own when the Man Show was around, and it was good times. Gromtek said, I feel like the Batman villains take advantage of the law the way the woke take advantage of cancel culture. Batman actively works outside of the law and uses some very messed up tactics. We'll come back to this. All right.
What about the other two?
Who was it? Fallon?
Yeah,
and,
Fallon. I can't remember.
And the guy from the Daily Show.
The guy from the Daily Show.
Yeah. I've never seen the Daily Show, but his old show was pretty funny. The Fake Republican.
Very funny.
Yeah.
I agree.
All right. So I feel like the Batman villains take advantage of the law the way the woke take advantage of cancel culture. Fair. Agreed. Batman actively works outside of law and uses some very messed up tactics, mass surveillance, manipulation, even violence, to bring justice to the villains. His limit on killing saves him from being just as bad, but he's still using villainous tactics to deliver justice. In this case, cancel culture is analogous to the law. I would disagree that cancel culture is analogous to killing. I think that there are ways to. I just agree. I just wholeheartedly disagree. I think if we are using this analogy, then we can. Didn't mean to do that. But culture jamming, like coming up with the words to like what is a woman that is outside of the good faith discussion, because we know that we're specifically asking that question to trip them up. So that would be the outside manipulation, surveillance, and then I mean we don't use we would consider violence more than cancel culture. So I think that the cancel culture is in this analogy killing, and not because of the severity, but because of the principle. So if the principle isn't that going back to this stuff, the principle isn't that okay, well killing is worse than cancel culture, so even if we have to do cancel culture, it's not as bad as killing. That's not the right frame to look at it through. The frame is that Batman will do whatever it takes, but the line is, I will not kill people. On our side, with our quote-unquote villains, then we will do whatever we have to do, but free speech cannot be impeded. The justice system, the ability for people to have due process, these things cannot be infringed upon. So, I mean, maybe we can agree to disagree there, but I cannot see how, in the context of the conversation that we're having, that the principle to be held is we do this, we don't do this. And then to go do the thing that we say we don't do just because those people are doing it. I don't see how that's not killing in this scenario. So let's finish up what they are talking about here and head over to the after party. Guys, remember, it is only $2.99 a month. Just scroll right below this video and sign up. It's a worst case scenario. You get 12 after parties for the $3, and then you can just cancel if you don't like it.
Show was pretty funny. The Fake Republican.
Very funny.
Yeah.
I agree.
Fallon's a fucking, he's so clean on there. But I don't think he's that clean. I think he's like a boozer and a fun guy.
Mm-hmm.
From what I hear. I don't know.
So that's just totally, that's not even a factor in comedy.
Yeah, I did like when he goes, when they were like, hey, you're losing the ratings to the other guy, to the Daily Show guy. you need to talk about Trump and stuff. And he goes, that's just not me.
Yeah.
I play ping pong with guests. So if everyone wants to hear that, then you should go to that guy. But if you want to hear a good lip sync battle, I'm your guy.
Well, good.
Was that Fallon? Because if that that sounds like it would be a Fallon thing, and I can actually respect that in the sense that, you know, Fallon among the rest of them was always a Hollywood, you know, just like, I don't know, but like, you know, Colbert was you know, when he had the Colbert Report, it was a culture jamming thing. It was upsetting people. Again, we were just talking about Jimmy Kimmel having the Man Show. Who else is there? Is it just it's really the main three, right? Because I mean, people don't really talk about Seth Meyers, and then I think, is Conan O'Brien still doing his thing? I don't even know, but that makes sense. If that's Fallon, I think that's fair.
So if everyone wants to,
what's the fat English dude? James Corden.
to hear that, then you should go to that guy. But if you want to hear a good lip sync battle, I'm your guy.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, exactly.
Know who you are.
Yeah, I just think more comics should do that. Stay in your lane. Be funny. You can write a tweet against Trump or Biden. Make it a joke. So many comics. Louis said this because comics fuck themselves over because they were like, it's just a joke, it's just a joke. But as an audience member, you're like, but a lot of you guys are not joking. Legitimately, you're making serious statements. So how are we, the audience, to know when you're joking and when you're not? This guy might be the worst president of all time. That's not a joke.
No.
Make it a joke. This guy's a worse president than Kermit was at being a fucking I don't know. But there's a joke possible.
Yep.
So then what do you mean?
And they don't, the pretense to make a joke. This is what they talk about. Clapter, right? Is that the word? Clapter? Yeah. Where it's like, they're not laughing at your jokes because they're funny. They're clapping with you because they agree with the sentiment, despite the fact that what you said either wasn't even a joke or was just not funny.
Make of Chappelle.
In general, he's a great comic.
Well, of course he is. But there's also there's not a criticism.
Yeah.
Just I've seen it.
Of what?
Well, it's all like he did this, the training special he did was like an editorial.
Yeah.
He was not joking. He was serious. Is that good or bad?
There's a thing I'll say that happens to.
I think that was amazing. The way that he it was very lighthearted throughout the whole thing. He was touching on the themes, and then he crafted the special to have a very heavy and deep meaning at the end. But it didn't come at the expense of the comedy throughout the show. It wasn't until the end, and if you haven't seen, I forget what it's called, but the one where he talks about his trans friend. If you haven't seen that, I mean, as soon as it's over, go check it out.
A lot of people. You get some, and it's not necessarily him, because everyone's on their own path, but you get some backlash.
Yeah.
And then instead of just allowing there to be backlash, I think it comes from a place of you want to win those people over and explain you're not the guy. You're not the guy they think. And you want to win them over. But then what happens is your creative output is spent trying to win over people who hate you instead of trying to please the people who do love you.
And this is, again, just that one video where it should be close to 100K. I think we might be breaking 100K with that one. But given that most of my videos, like a good video, will get a couple thousand views. The experience of having this 100,000 view video is 99.4 thousand views. And lots and 4,500 comments, and very early on, which is not usually the case. I usually get 10, 15 maybe comments on something, and so I can be in the chat and I can be in the comments and I can have a conversation with somebody. And I realized with this one that I was trying to keep up and respond to everybody. And like I was talking about before, you just can't. There's just not enough bandwidth to when somebody says, oh, you got this wrong, or you're wrong about this, and it's like, well, that's not what I meant. But if I take the time to actually explain to you and everybody else who misunderstood the same point, then that would be my whole day. Not happening.
And that's your core group, and keep honoring them. And these other people, it sways them all.
It's so smart.
Who are you talking about?
The people go really.
I just got it. That is a really smart observation.
Thanks, buddy.
It's not just comedy. No, I'm saying
fucking anti-Semite. All we can be is a brain.
You have a high verbal intelligence, I'll say. No, I think that's a really insightful thing to say. It's not just comedians, by the way, who do
Yeah,
this.
right. Yeah. And then it just keeps going further and further over until you're this warped fucking Gollum version of yourself.
Yes.
And you're like, what happened to you? And I've seen it.
Well, they won, actually. They won. Your enemies
Yep.
won. The critics won.
They
They distorted you.
Mm-hmm. And it's not even like, let me do a good joke about this. It's, hey, I was already done with that. So I'm not going to keep doing jokes. I'm not. So people ask me about when I did this Jew thing, like, you should come out and.
I don't remember the days. Let's see. Dave Chappelle specials. Just give me the goddamn list. Filmography. For fuck's sake, just give me the god. Okay, stand-up specials. It wasn't. So this would have been after 846. I think it was Unforgiven. I don't remember. I don't know which one it was. There we go. Jesus Christ. Thank God. Wikipedia got a dark mode. Jesus. That might be the 846. That might be the one that he did for after George Floyd, and it was before we got any of the body cam footage, and it was it was just based on that one cell phone video where it looked really bad. I think that might have been that one. Let's see, is it on here? Dave Chappelle.
I am not saying that to say that
definitely
trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those pussies.
Oh no, this is a compilation. This isn't this. I think it was this one. It was the one after this.
I got in a fight. Almost got in a fight. It's complicated. I was in a bar in Austin with my wife, and it was during COVID, and a woman came to our table.
I don't know which one it was. I think it's this one where he's wearing the jacket and stuff. The jacket, the white shirt, and the chain. I'm pretty certain it is this one. Which one it's called, I don't remember. Maybe. No, see, this is the one before that. I don't remember, but you can find it if you look for it. But either way, it was he's done a number of these, and you even saw it there on the Wikipedia. They didn't even call it a stand-up special. They called it a performance speech, and I think that's fair. I think that's fair for both of those specials, even though the trans one was, in my opinion, a comedy special like any other that just had a lot more heart to it. The 846 one was definitely not a comedy thing. It was in that format, but yeah, very different. Nicholas Lucchetti said, as someone who's Gen X, you have my permission to laugh at the triggered dorks in Gen X. I think it's possible a requirement to laugh. I think it's possible a requirement to laugh at them. If not, it should be. Well, with that, I definitely will continue to laugh at them. I want to give a big shout out to the sponsors of the stream. We had Sarah Marie and a little bit there. Again, I don't know how much it is, but I appreciate it anyway. We had Zippy DSM Lee with the Rumble Rant. And then, of course, our boy, as always, as usual, Funk Master General coming in hot, sponsoring the whole stream once again. I'm out of words, brother. I appreciate it so very, very much. I'm sorry. I apologize. Was that the name? I'm triggered. I feel like that might have been the name of it. But either way, thank you so very, very much for hanging out with me, guys. You know, as all of the big stories are developing, we're obviously still going to be here talking about the stuff that we always talk about, how to communicate with each other and how to communicate with people who may not agree or abjectly. Oh, okay. Well, sorry. Well, wait, try that again. Either way, those things are very, very important and never more important than when there is chaos and when we're not sure what's actually happening. We don't know what happened with Biden. We don't know what happened with Trump. We don't know what happened with. We don't know what's happening with Kamala. We don't know what's happening with the DNC. There's a lot up in the air, and so it's very important to, number one, take stock of, okay, where are we at today, so that we can tell what's changed tomorrow. We don't want to wait until there's a big change and be like, wait, how is this different? I think I remember this was that. We want to make sure that we are, keeping the landscape in mind, so that when something happens, we are aware of how that affects what it was yesterday. And every day, it seems like something new is happening. So if something big happens with Trump, Biden, otherwise, I will definitely go live tomorrow. I'll probably go live tomorrow anyway. I do have a late client, so it'll probably be around the usual time, or about 8 p.m. Eastern. But keep a lookout for the notifications. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button. I don't know what the hell you're doing not subscribed. Ring the bell as well. And don't forget to join the Discord, guys. It is completely free to join the Discord. That is what this is all about, is creating a community so that we can push our ideas further and wider. If you are interested in that, if you are interested in meeting people who, despite what they think, they want to have interesting conversations, then Discord is the place for you. And if you want to do even more than that, then join as a member, guys. It is super cheap. And every single Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we go in there and we're having interesting conversations. We're getting to know each other. We're being there for each other. Will Toes was just talking about something with his ex-girlfriend, and we're all helping him out. And that's what a community is, guys. That's what I'm building. So if you are you're interested in that, definitely sign up. Other than that, guys, I will be here again, as always, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Here, 8 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out with me. Big shout out again to the Funk Master General, the sponsor of the stream. Until next time, guys, I very, very much appreciate it. Morty is just standing under the desk. Why? I don't know, but that's what he does. I am your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, I am out of here. Peace.